Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, but more importantly, blue morning because it is back the blue morning show. I hope you're all doing well. As you may know already, some interesting, some very interesting developments out there. We're all here to cover it for you. Hopefully, I'll get some people to join me on the panel. If no, I'll roll solo, and believe me, it was so the fun. But thank you more importantly for joining the show. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to the Blue Money Show. And if you're in the chat, please do let me know you can hear me. Again, it's starting to look like, like I said before, some interesting developments out there. But first, let me say hi to people before there's a question I really do want to ask you guys because it just seems as if that's the case. But that may well not be the case. So let's get into it. Yeah, I have Lamb Lane. Lamb, first of all, more importantly, do let us know how you're doing. I hope you're doing better. He says, Blue Morning Kachila, Pile and Todd. I hope everyone is doing well. I am doing well. I am better than I was yesterday. I was a bit under the weather, but I hope you're well too. Fourth to like the button. So you made it to the Champions League. Congratulations. And yeah, that's good to see. Blue Morning, all limitless. Blue Morning to you, too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Morning, Lamb. This is Blue Blood. How are you doing, Blue Blood? I hope you're well. Morning again says, hi, Blue Blood. Again, just saying hello to each other. And Limitless says, if it's frustrating how these journalists always try to get the clicks when they really don't know what is happening in the club. Saying players need a clarity on the playing time or they leave. Again, sometimes, in most cases, you could argue that they may have spoken with the players in question, but there's no way to tell if that's the case. You have a contract. You're in a team spot. Not everyone plays all the time. It's just ridiculous how they make up a stuff of a conversation and clicks. They do that, but the truth remains sometimes players do want to play more. And when they don't get that, they aim to leave. It's as simple as that. And it's not something we can argue against. Again, Ake reject a shot. Surely, I think it's not Ake, but we'll talk about it. We have the story lined up for you. Hello, guys. Hello, Kachila. Matekaya Ben from Kenya. I hope you're doing well. 46 days to transfer window for my friend and Mikhail and brother Mikhail. Big up, Blues. Big up to you too, Mikhail. I hope you're doing well. PJ, nothing he says. Again, says just walking it quickly. Nine, okay. Kimpembe. Let's see. Kachila, there's some background noise. I think I can hear it too. I'm sensing. I think I may know what the issue is. I'm going to try to fix it in a bit. Aki is staying at City. Yep, we're hearing that too. And here it says Aki is staying. Yep, we'll see. We'll talk about that in a bit. He was always a Kimpembe Aki with interest of back in Kunde. Chelsea got right wing back position covered. Kunde, we'll see. We'll get him back. Kunde 5 million more than Aki. He's like 10 times better. Again, here it says. CFC fans, you guys should know the truth. Colwill not good enough. Again, TT will go for Kunde. Again, you're the one that telling us that that's the truth for you, but maybe that may not be the truth for us. Just give me a second. Let me try and take care of the background noise in question. That may be coming from my wireless connection. And if I do this, let me know if it stops so that I can pinpoint what the problem is and not let it happen next time. Okay, let's see what happens here. All right, let me know if you're in the chat. Just let me know if the noise have stopped. Hello, hello, hello. It looks like I have an issue here. Okay, let me know if you can hear me. It looks like I caused a problem while trying to solve the audio issue. I don't want this to happen this morning. But let me know if you can hear me at least, let alone let it be that the camera is the only thing that's having a problem here. Audio is fixed, yeah, but you can't see me. That's the problem right now. I'm gonna try to see if I adjust something here that I'll get that one fixed. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And I was afraid that was gonna happen. My studio, everything is hanging somehow. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Control E. All right, looks like well, I'm gonna be without the camera for a while, and honestly, believe me, I don't like that. So again, like I said, we have quite a lot to talk about. I'm not sure why this is not seeing my camera. I'll probably try to reboot it in a minute. If you guys bear with me, just I'm gonna try to reboot the whole Sorry, guys, just give me a few seconds. I need to fix the camera. All right, guys. Please do let me know if you can hear me. I believe that's the case. I was able to sort it out quickly. Again, trying to fix one problem and then run into a whole lot of run into an even bigger problem. So again, thank you very much for your patience. I sincerely do appreciate that. And like I said before, we have quite a lot to talk about. And I appreciate you guys keeping busy, having a conversation there while you wait for me. Again, thank you. Thank you for all the support. I cannot thank you enough. Like I said, we have quite a lot to talk about. We'll talk about Juice Kende, we'll talk about Kimpembe, Nathan Ake, and we'll follow up with any other developing stories as they happen up. That's what we're here to do. And again, at one point we'll start taking questions from the audience. So at that point, if you have any questions, you shoot, and we'll be glad to help answer it. So we'll start. I think we should get into it immediately, and you let me know what you think. Again, it just seems, if you ask me, it just looks as if Thomas Tuchel is confused. I was refusing to say that before. They say that he's confused, or maybe that's we're starting to learn how Todd Boehly operates. He acts he's not serious about a particular deal, then boom, he just comes back in and then swoops in and then takes whatever he wants. But that's, by the way, I'm going to try. Let's start with these immediately. There's no time to waste here. Let's give me a few seconds. I think I'd like us to start with this very one here. I'm not sure that's the one, but I'm going to be careful. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be back with you guys again. Let me see what we have here. Everything just seemed messed up now because of the technical issues we had. But then again, let's start by talking about the fact we talked before. This is something similar that happened with uh, the case of Khalidou Koulibaly. We thought we were no longer interested in the player, and before you know it, Todd Boehly swooped in, and it just seemed as if within 48 hours the deal was done and dusted. Again, it's looking like that's going to be the case of Kunde. Again, I know, but let me see what Tribune says there. He says, okay, not that one here. It says, Kunde agreed at terms with Barca, but I think we agreed terms with him too. Maybe he went ahead and started talking with them the moment he thought that the deal with Chelsea, had fallen through, and then he posted a cryptic message saying something like, "If things don't work out, you're better off going up for the best." Some cryptic message like that, and that was when we heard that we've cooled off our interest in the player. It turns out that we're still very much interested in the player in question. Again, if you're on the chat, let me know what you think. Do you think Thomas Tuchel is confused, or do you think that's just the way? Three things are possible here in the Kunde situation. It's either Thomas Tuchel isn't sure what he wants, again, but because if Kunde, if he's really, being suggested to Thomas Tuchel by the board as rumored, then again, that's you can say he isn't confused. But if he wanted him and then decided he don't want him and we're going back for him again, it just simply means he's confused. Or maybe it's that's the way the Todd Boehly operates. He just acts like he's not interested, and before you know it, he comes back in and then takes the player. I hope that happens because Kunde is a player I like. I know some Chelsea fans, but when we start with these things start to seem as if the club doesn't want him anymore, they started finding excuses to say, okay, after all, it's too short. After all, the other player is taller than him or maybe better than him. That's just how we operate. So more importantly, if you're in the chat, please do let me know where you're watching from. I really want to know. Again, that will lighten up the mood this morning after having the heat. With the start of the show wasn't that smooth. Again, you could have no excuses here. Apologies for the issue we had during the show. And hello, everyone says how about clipping a Milan fan, but when he looks towards England, Chelsea is his team. Welcome back to the show. I hope you're doing well, brother. And good morning, coach. Good morning to you too, the Chelsea boy 1234. So I want to try and put up a poll here to see what your opinion is. Again, before I do that, if you're watching, please take a second to let me know where you're watching from. And if you haven't, please just take a second. Yes, just take a second, to let us know where you're watching from. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate your patience as I try to, solve the issue we're having here. Herbert says just pop in to smash the like button and say hi. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Even when you don't have time, liking the video, that does go a long way for the channel. And like I've always said, you don't have to donate your hard-earned cash to the channel. All I ask of you is just like the video. There are other ways the channel can make a money. Again, you being part of the show, you're contributing in the chat, you watching even when you're not contributing in the chat. Those things do go a long way. So thank you for all the support. So again, like I've said again, I'm surprised at how this whole thing, how they're panning out. The Juice conundrum, if you want to phrase it that way. First, we heard, okay, yep, we're closing in on Juice Kunde. And then again, we heard, okay, it's not happening again. So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure which is it at this point. But it's just, like I said, it just sounds as if Thomas Tuchel is confused. Maybe that's Todd Boehly playing, a game. So let me see. Again, my screen is still giving me a bit of an issue, but I think we will be all right. We'll be taking the stories one by one. And again, when I have time to put up the poll, I want to get your opinion. Again, it says also Josko Gvardiol remains on the list of Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel, while Todd Boehly is driving a deal for Jules Koundé, who Tuchel is also keen on. So again, that's a lesson for us because I even had that argument yesterday with my co-host Louisa. We argued. Okay, she was arguing that Thomas Tuchel wasn't Jules Koundé wasn't really Thomas Tuchel's choice, and I argued otherwise. I said there's a chance maybe he was Thomas Tuchel's choice, but Thomas Tuchel, changed his mind because he's seen an option that's better, or maybe for some reason the price is seen an option he also likes that's cheaper. But this comments, this tweet on the screen here shows he's keen on the player, which means the rumors that Jules Koundé wasn't his choice. It's all nonsense. So we must be careful what we believe. So I think it's going to be a crazy market. And like we said a few days ago, again, once the first signing crosses the line, it will be as if the floodgate, is open. The floodgate has been open, and that's the case. You could argue the floodgate has been swung open, and the signings are starting to come in left or right. And again, another argument also pay attention to is going to happen. There's a chance we sign some players that we don't even know, or we didn't know the club we're actually talking with. But this is an interesting one. I had completely forgotten about Gvardiol. It turns out we're still talking about them. So we're not actually done signing defenders. That's a chance after signing Jules Koundé, we may well still sign a Gvardiol. So again, that's why we should, another reason we should, take everything we see in the media with a pinch of salt, or maybe take some time, to break them down, not just believe them because it's out there, or because it's been put out there by some of our favorite, you could say a journalist. That is coming from them doesn't mean it is the truth, because none of them are, none of them are there, at the negotiation table, or with the or none of them are, are members of the Chelsea board, so they can't really tell us what's happening. I think they just speculate. And that's why we should be careful how we believe the things we see out there. Again, I'm going to try to catch up with the chat before we come back with what we have on the screen here. Again, thank you very much, Herbert. I appreciate that. Again, Mikhail says, what is it? that's that list strikes again. Such a spoiler, he's in every Chelsea target. Koundé apparently agreed at times with Chelsea too. Here's the thing: if we're arguing that he agreed terms with Barcelona, remember that's a time you think that we've pulled out of the Jules Koundé deal for some reason. I don't know why. It just clearly it seemed as if we're not interested. Well, we forfeited our pursuit of Jules Koundé. We stopped hearing about it, and also it was out there in the media. So again, so we should be careful what we believe. Mason got they not good enough in your opinion? Yep. Again, it says if Kunde doesn't happen, can Benjamin Pavard be an option for Chelsea who can play as a centre back as well as a right back? Again, the option doesn't depend on what we discuss here or what the fans talk about. It all comes down to what the manager wants. And remember, we're talking about the same manager that we've all called. For long we've been calling for the club to back him because we feared that's a chance. We see the same thing that's happened with previous managers. After doing so well, then we'll learn that the club, didn't do anything in the market to help him, fortify the team or help him get in the player he wants, to keep winning. Again, but now we have owners who are willing to back the manager. We shouldn't question the players, that the club are talking with. Okay, Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you very much, brother, for letting me know that that's where you're watching from. It seems like Tuchel is insisting on signing a left-footed centre back. We do not know. There's a lot that he probably wants. Lots of deals that he probably wants to get done so he can, get the team to play how he wants. It says, what is happening with Kimpembe? We're not sure. Apparently, again, we'll get into it. I'm not sure what's out there. It's at one point we heard that we're nearing, an agreement with PSG. The player himself, we're hearing he's conflicted. He loves PSG and wouldn't mind staying there, and all those nonsense. It just seemed you could argue. Some people would argue this. These players are using us, to get a better deal because almost nearly all of them are nearing the end of their current contract and are on the table. You could argue with the current club discussing a new deal, so they usually use us to get a better deal like True Blue did face it yesterday. Kunde over Kimpembe for me. Again, Kachila sent you a link last night and also stated in past a TT tried to sign Kunde for PSG. Exactly. So that begs the question: who engineered the rumors that just Kunde, has been, was the club's suggestion, not the manager's desire. So it just doesn't make sense. And I argue that again, we should learn not to believe. That teaches us not to believe everything we see out there. So thank you. I'll check out the list. Let me know where you sent it. Pick up everyone and make sure you hit the like button. Yes, people. Right now we have 26 likes and we have 85 people watching. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video. I truly appreciate that. The likes do go a long way for the channel. And again, I cannot thank you enough, for waiting, for being patient while, giving me time and for giving me time enough to sort out the issue I had during the start of the show. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Again, thank you for that. Big up everyone and make sure you hit the like button. That's the coolest chance. Please make sure to go check out his channel. Do subscribe and let them know that I sent you. Turner Brandy says that Kunde might not come over because he might have feel we never valued him. Again, all it takes is just speak with the player. There's a chance he feels that way. You're correct. We're humans after all. When we feel undervalued, we react by the next time the person that will feel undervalued us wants us, to come around, would say no. But some people, even at that, do go. If you really, value your friendship or connection you have with that person, you go. If he really wants to play with us, I think he'd come. At Barca, he'd see what's going on there. Even though you can't say they're broke, but they're asking players to take wage cut. I think would offer him more salary than Barca will. See what's going on, the conundrum going on between Barca and the young. The young ones, I think they're literally trying to force him out of the club, but he wants to stay, not necessarily because he wants to stay. I think it has to do with his son, the money they owe him. But that's, by the way, the True Blue. What's the link all about? Again, says Gnabry just signed a contract with Bayern. Todd and Leao, that pronouncing that name is one thing. I think it was, what's his name? My friend and brother and the panelist here, a resident panelist here, tried to teach me how to pronounce it. Okay, let me say Leao. Say it like you're saying like meow for a cat, but that's by the way. Again, Gnabry we heard, again, all speculations. There's no way to tell if the manager or if the club really wanted to get Gnabry. We heard we're all just rumors. There's no way to confirm that we really wanted him. And like True Blue said yesterday, he probably used us to get more money as he was already on the negotiate with the Bayern for the new contract. So you couldn't argue against that being the fact. And also for Rafael Leao, he's already started talking with AC Milan too for a new contract, but they're not agreeing. I think there's some disparity between how much Mendes, who's his agent, wants, and how much AC Milan, how much they're willing to pay him for the new contract. I think Milan they offer something around 1.5, and Mendes wants around 4 million. So there's a huge difference there, and they have just like 2 years left on his contract, which means it won't be long, and he will leave on a free. And the fewer years that he has on his contract, the lower the amount they can get from his. So already they have 140 million buyout clause on his contract. So if they renew his contract, I'm fearing they probably double that, or just add 50% increase if you ask me, because he's that good. It says Kunde, Chalobah, Thiago Koulibaly, centre backs. Okay, you're naming all the players I think you want us to sign. That's James Chelsea again. Thank you all for all the immense support. I sincerely do appreciate all the support I get from you guys. We have 30 likes now, while we have 90 people watching, and I know we can do better than that. So if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel. That will go a long way for us. True Blue says, so many great terms with Chelsea, PSG, Liverpool, and Madrid. Speed up the process again and get the player done. Yeah, because the players themselves, I think they're well aware that there's a chance, even though they're in advance, the talks to join a particular club is in an advanced level. That's the chance it falls through. That's the chance the club changes their mind and go for a different player. But again, I'm confident if we really want to get the Juice Kunde deal across the line, I think I'm really confident that we can do that. Barcelona, I think right now, even though they're not broke, they have issues that I'm sure every smart player, whom they want to sign, are well aware of, and they understand the risk of joining them, especially if you hear that they have they're owing players salaries. Yeah, so that alone, if I'm a player, I wouldn't join them, even though they're the biggest club in the world, of which they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Gnabry not happening now. Agreed a new contract. Again, we suspected that was going to happen. I think Matt, I've sent you the link. Said we know Gnabry isn't coming. I think we knew that before time, but we just talked about him because he was out there. Barcelona will present an offer for Chelsea for Serge Gnabry as soon as possible. The Blues have asked for patience as they want to sign a replacement. Here's the thing. I think Chelsea are actually. I think we're moving strategically. I think we're not just going into the market and then throwing the money at, on the table for clubs, giving them how much they ask for us. I think what we're doing, we're being strategic about it. If you look at it now, what's going on, maybe we're showing Barca we want a Kunde. And if you want to fight for us against to get Kunde, then forget about Serge Gnabry. I think I'm learning maybe that's how Todd Boehly operates. I think he looks, he looks at the factors that define, a particular situation before he moves, which is the best way to approach every situation. That way, you're not going to make any mistakes. Kachila Link was in last night a show. Oh, I missed it. Apologies, and I promised I was going to look at it, but I didn't, probably because I was exhausted. Kimpembe and Kunde on fire. Do you think we'd get them both? I think if we're getting Kunde, I think I think Kimpembe now becomes a priority for one reason that we'll talk about in a bit. So thank you for highlighting that. Again, the coolest just, again, you can share the link to your channel anytime and let the people know that's the link to your channel. So thank you very much for that update there. Leao, it's not happened. That's a chance that may not happen too. He's not a priority. I think maybe we don't know. again, given the way things have gone, in the past few days, you just cannot tell what will happen and what will not happen, because it doesn't look like Uncle Todd. It doesn't. He will not cease to surprise us. I think he moves whenever he's serious and he gets the deal over the line. But I can tell you now, if that happens, for instance, I don't think we're going in for delete again. If that happens, I'd be surprised. If it happens, I'll take it. Again, thank you for that. Says Ake's deal stalled. Now Chelsea has reignited Kunde's pursuit. Again, we're learning in the Manchester City that they're reluctant to let Ake go because Zinchenko now have left. That makes it even difficult for them to let Ake go, except if they bring in someone else. But we're not sure what is really going there. So we could have Silva, Koulibaly, Kimpembe, Kunde, Chalobah, and Colwill going into next season. Talk about squad depth. Again, that's a chance we keep. There's still the chance we keep Colwill, because we're hearing he's not asking to start every game. You forget what you're hearing out there, that he has an attitude. And the question we've always asked those people who come up here and say that Colwill has attitude, we ask them, have you spoken with him, or are you at the Chelsea camp, or do you train with Chelsea? Don't just make up nonsense. And then we heard from a reputable source that the kid isn't actually asked to start every game. He's just asking, to be given the chance, to prove himself or something like that. But again, it's all about the cliques out there in the Chelsea community, especially from the influencers we have there, some of which you could argue are not actually Chelsea fans. Some of you could argue are not Chelsea fans, but out there for the cliques. So thank you very much for that. Atman Football TV, Atman, nice to see you here, brother. He said, Kunde deal has lingered far too long, and that's just the truth. Far too long. The player might feel discouraged to join us, except he has that natural love for the club. I think he has, and there's no way to tell really if he isn't aware of Chelsea's approach. If Chelsea's approach was to just play like they're not really interested, that's a chance he knows about it, because they do talk. And again, I wouldn't go too much into that, because it's all well, I'm just speculating and not really telling you that's the case, so you understand. Gnabry hasn't signed a new deal. As I stand, again, we don't know what's going on. Let's see. Blessed and blue morning to you, Kachila. Julius Armour, how are you doing, brother? Trust you're doing great. Please, any update on Kimpembe, we'll look at them. Just stay tuned, brother. The replacement, Dijon Stalin, Mr. Tuchel, do you really like working with the youth? Good question. We will find out as the season starts. Again, we've seen things, situations where things that made me, I became concerned. There are circumstances that made me, situations that made me start questioning Tuchel's willingness to, to accommodate the youth in his team. Let me just phrase it that, or squad overall. What's the situation of not having? Is it the guy that played in the left center back position for us? What's his name? Not Levi Colwill. No, not Harvey Vale. Nope. Oh my goodness, I just lost it. The kid played in a cup game and he was brilliant. The only one mistake he made was to give away the ball, but he made sure he corrected the mistake. And from the correction, he created the chance for Marcus. Who was it? I think he created a chance for one of the players on the pitch. Again, and I had hoped to start seeing him in subsequent games. He didn't even appear on the bench, and that really I didn't like that. That wasn't a good sign for me, because he did well enough that Lewis Hall. Thank you very much. It's Kami. Lewis Hall was the name I'm looking for. I was expecting to see him in subsequent games, and that thing happened, and I was like, what's going on? When there's a way you deal with kids. When a kid at that age put in such a brilliant performance in a game, because no matter how you see it, you can still categorize that game as a high-profile game. He did quite well. Play him in subsequent games, because he'd still be high on confidence given that wonderful performance. Even if you want to play him only in subsequent cup games, that alone will go a long way for the development of the player. But well, Uncle Tuchel didn't do that, and I didn't like it. That wasn't a good sign for me. Again, and we, Joseph, and I know quite a lot of us expected to see more and more and more of Levi Colwill, but that did not happen. Again, I am happy with what is going on presently in the transfer market, but please, Chelsea should not sell Armando and Colwill. We should be proud of our academy players. Okay, here's the thing. I think that there will be chance again for at least one player. You could argue, yeah, it looks like Conor Gallagher is staying. Again, my question is, what does Thomas Tuchel do with Armando Broja and Levi Colwill? And there are no shortage of clubs willing to pay us for those two players that we mentioned right now. So there's a chance Thomas Tuchel, if he's looking to achieve success short term, may well decide to sell them, use the money to add to what we already have in the bank in a budget, and buy new players. I hope Broja stays. I've always been concerned about Thomas Tuchel giving traditional number nines chances, but I think Armando Broja is more than just a traditional number nine. He's good on the ball. He can dribble. He can play on the flank. He has an explosive pace in him, and his acceleration is also good. So, and he can also, even if he started his career as a traditional number nine, I think he's still very young, and can also learn and adapt to executing the role in a hybrid manner. So there's a chance for him in the team. Yeah, if you know what I'm talking about. Gnabry yet to sign a new deal, but we're quick to hear that he signed a new deal, probably engineered, to scare clubs who are interested in securing his signatures away. So again, thank you guys for 36 likes. We have 108 people watching, and we have 36 likes. Again, if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video to help us reach more people, because the more you like the video, the more people would be able to reach, and the more people that joins us here, the more fun it will be, and the more the channel will reach its target as soon as possible. Right now, we're at 4,346 subscribers. We're not far away. We're almost halfway into getting to 5,000 subscribers. And I know we will get there in a few days because of your tremendous support, because of your tremendous love for the channel. So thank you very much again. Babuje Ahmed says that this is a World Cup year. There's so many competition like FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Champions League. Yep, that makes very sense. Lewis Hall, thank you very much, Kami. That was the name I was looking for. And my friend here and brother True Blue says Lewis Hall, that was the name I was looking for. So thank you. Kimpembe and Kunde is to Chelsea would create competition in the team and hence would ignite the players. That's the truth. Competition is important. We don't want to, that's why we avoid using the term backups here. We've always called for the club to sign, starters, all starters. That's why we're Chelsea. If we want to be like, measure the success of the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, you could argue Manchester City and Liverpool, we should not go for backups. We should go for all starters, at least 2 starters in every position. And whoever starts isn't a guarantee. Won't take that position for granted, and we'll always give 150%, to hold on to that position, because they will know fully well there's another player on the bench who is equally good, who, if they get the chance, can come in and do an even a better job. So again, yeah, thank you for that comment. It makes sense. That's how we roll here. We don't want backups. We want competition everywhere. Our youngsters are not consistent, though. That's why they are youngsters. If you want to make that argument, Shahab, you call them youngsters. That's why they are youngsters. And again, they become better. They need the game time to become better. And if you can give them a chance in a team, it's even better than sending them alone. Because here's the thing, if you go out on loan, you'd have to be in an exceptional form to come back and walk straight into the team. If at that, in most cases, you'd be in exceptional form and then come back, then you have to learn how the manager wants to, play the game. That takes time too, because there's a chance you're playing a manager with a whole new, a different philosophy. Then you come back to the manager that coaches the team where your parent team, then you have to learn to adapt to how he wants the game played. So again, that's a minus. So if you're good enough to an acceptable measure, I'd always, argue, stay at the club, train with the team, even if you don't get too many game time. That's a chance you show. That's the type of performance that you show, and the manager would decide this guy is actually a starter. So I always, whenever I talk about such things, I always use Phil Foden as an example. He was patient, and look where he is, and look where Sancho, who wasn't patient enough, who left, look where he is today. So sometimes going out on loan doesn't work for every player. Again, that's my argument here. It says Bouncer UK man them says, good afternoon, sir. CFC for life. Yes, CFC forever. Thank you for saying that very kindly. And again, we have 43 likes. We're almost halfway before we get to 100 likes. If you haven't, please keep liking the video. Let's shoot at least for 200 likes a day. Please help the channel get there. I appreciate that in advance because I know you can help the channel get there. Abhilash Asin says, will Conor Gallagher get the first team chance in Chelsea? He had an excellent loan. Crystal Palace spell. Again, that's the truth. I think it's the most likely. If anybody is guaranteed to be integrated into the first team, you'd argue it's Conor Gallagher for obvious reasons. Again, they say numbers don't lie, but also with eye test, I think he was just brilliant. It says happy for Ake's they'll reject. Yes, some Chelsea fans will dance for that. I think Gnabry hasn't signed up but has agreed a deal, which means it's really close, which means it will most likely happen. Again, it says here and Conor Gallagher again. Again, a player of the year player of the year at Crystal Palace. I think he warrants it because he was brilliant for them. But that's by the way. I'm going to come back to the panel. Let's get into what we're talking about. Actually, Matt, your thoughts and you could say you call it a U-turn if you want because it may well have been that. Do you think it's the club making a U-turn? And what does that tell you about the rumors that he wasn't Tuchel's choice in the first place? I think that's absolute nonsense. This development throws that argument out of the window. Your thoughts, Matt?
Obviously, big up Kachil. Appreciate having me on.
Big up. Good day. Sorry, pardon my manners. Big up to you too, brother.
Yeah, I think looking at this article, he's coming home. The Cobra Kai Kunde. He's coming home. Bring him home. This is his home. This is where he belongs. He belongs in a Chelsea shirt. He's been wanting to come for 2 years. Tuchel's been wanting him since PSG. We need to sign this man. This guy wants to play for the club. He wanted to play for us. He wants to play on the Tuchel. We've wanted to play on the Tuchel for 4 to 5 years already. Get him on the Tuchel. Tuchel's the best manager to progress this guy. This guy's already done bits at Sevilla. He's Sevilla's best player. Imagine what he can do on the Tuchel. A manager who's been wanting him for years and years. He knows what this player can do. And he's obviously done bits in Sevilla. He's proven a centre-back player. And he's an A-list signing. This guy, valued whatever he is, he's an A-list signing. He's valued 55, 65, 45, A-list centre-back that we must get. With Kimpembe on the side with him, fantastic. I don't mind that. I would rather them two than Ake. I don't mind Ake. Ake comes, he's great, whatever. But I would personally rather a Kunde, Kimpembe, Koulibaly link up. That will be the best back three in the league for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree with your argument. I think the nonsense we've been hearing out there, it's just absolute nonsense. Again, people just make up nonsense, to get the clicks. So I hope he comes. He's a player I like so much. Again, this is another from another source. Says it's exclusive. It says Chelsea are reworking on the signing of Jules Koundé from Sevilla, with the deal being driven by Todd, Boehly and co. It is a situation to keep an eye on. The main target are Jules Koundé and Presnel Kimpembe. So we still want Kimpembe, but I'm not sure really what's going on in that story too. You have any update on the story about Kimpembe?
My assumption was that he wants to come to Chelsea. Tuchel's rang him, Thiago Silva's rang him, and he likes the project. Now it's time to convince PSG. He's still on the contract. It's time to convince PSG. Can he do it? Well, it's up to his agent to try and find out a deal. But he definitely loves and wants to come to Chelsea. Tuchel's rang him, as I said, Thiago Silva's rang him. He's given the agreement. He wants to leave. Let's see what we can do with PSG and if they will want to let him go. Because, again, as I said, I'm going to reiterate myself. These two are great signings. These are centre backs who are aggressive. We've just kicked out a player who goes off for a sore stomach in a final, right? And we're bringing in three aggressive, hungry, thriving centre backs. These players are all professional, aggressive players. Koulibaly, he's a leader. Kimpembe, we've all seen the video. We know the video. Him limping on one leg, taking out the attack. It was 4v1. He's limping and he still goes for the tackle. He puts his body on the line. Our centre backs last season, Christensen and all that, they never did that. These are players who put their body in the line, who play aggressively, who are warriors on the pitch, and that's what we need. We need warriors. We want players to be scared of playing against us. That's what Tuchel wants to bring. I want that as well. I want people come and go, oh my God.
What do you say to people that argue he's too rough? He puts in a lot of rough tackles and will get a lot of red card if he comes to Chelsea and all that, yada, yada. The usual argument you get from the average Chelsea fans. Because my argument to them whenever they talk about that, how old is he now actually?
20, Kimpembe is 26.
26. Okay, yeah, again, those things, we should start seeing less and less of those, rush tackles and all that, which is usually, I think, those things happen more when he's even younger. But the truth remains, I see ages, I see gains more experience. We'll start to see less and less of that. Or maybe it all comes down to the type of player he is. But people fail to look at those things. They just jump to conclusions and start jumping, again, because we're looking at him, they pick out those things just like they did when they talked about the lead. They talked about a few mistakes he made in the Serie A this past season. But what do you say about the argument that he's all those rough tackles, is going to be a problem and those nonsense?
Yeah, well, if you don't like players being rough, go watch netball for cricket, where there's nothing there. If you want to, this is a man's sport. It's a real sport. You got to be rough in it, and that's what I love. I love players who are rough, who want to win. I don't care if they punch a player. All I care, that's aggression. I love that in players. Obviously, there's the consequences to their actions, but when you got a player like Kimpembe who goes in, who takes the risk for that tackle, I've always said, players make mistakes. It's the reaction to the mistake that makes up for it. And Kimpembe, he'll put in a bad tackle. All right. But you know what he does? He gets up and he still keeps going. He doesn't put his head down. He doesn't do this. He still thrives to be the best player on that pitch. That's why I like Kepa so much. Because Kepa never puts his head down as well. They make mistakes, but it's not the mistake that's the problem. It's the reaction to the mistake. People make mistakes, but you want a reaction to the mistake? Look at Kimpembe. He'll make a mistake, he'll get up and he'll go and try and do it again because he makes up for it. If you don't want this, don't be rough. Don't blah 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 blah. Go watch Christensen. That was a player who wasn't rough, and look how shit he was. We need aggression. We need rough. People look at us and go, we're versing Chelsea. It's nothing. We don't have leaders. We don't have strong players. We don't have aggressive players. Bringing these guys in, these warriors in, these soldiers in. These are players who will put their body on the line to get the ball. This is exactly what we need. We need this at Chelsea. We are going through a rebuild, and we're going to start from the bottom, and we're bringing in warriors. We've just brought in our soldiers. Now it's time to get some more brains in that team. That's it. That's what we need. But we're getting the bronze. We're getting the soldiers. That's what we need.
That's why Thomas Tuchel is, you could argue he's hell-bent on getting him because we're serious about him. But what we're hearing, which I've also argued, there's no way to tell that's the truth. The rumors that he'd prefer to, he's conflicted. He's not sure. He's torn between remaining at PSG because he loves the club. But we're also hearing from the other some media outlets saying, I think he's having issues with the board or maybe the president, and so they're going back and forth with some nonsense like that. But quickly, Matt, before we move on to the next topic, I want to ask you again. I didn't ask you that. Again, would you say, I think it was who argued that? I think Ty has argued that. Would you say that Thomas Tuchel really is confused in terms of our targets, how we're going? We're there, we're out of there, we're there, we're in back there, or do you think it's actually the way Todd Boehly operates? And if that's the way he operates, it's been effective because we thought we're out of, we're not going to look at Koulibaly again, and boom, we got him. Or do you think it's something they discussed when he went? He had a meeting with the Barcelona president Laporta and his board in Spain. maybe they discussed something, because the whole deal seem to be happening like this. So I want to get your thought. It's confusing a bit, but maybe you can help us understand it better.
Well, my whole theory on this. Obviously, I'm not correct. I've no clue. But this is what That's what I assume is that Boehly and Tuchel are working together. They're working hand in hand. Tuchel would say, "I'm looking at a player like Ousmane Dembele that I want," and Boehly's like,
Mm,
"All right, I'm gonna try get this done." Unfortunately, he couldn't get it done. Right. So my assumption is that they're working hand in hand, as you said with the Barcelona situation. Right. I'm not sure what that meeting was for now. I don't know. I'm assuming it was for Alonso and Aspie. We'll find out more in a couple of weeks. But
mm-hmm.
it is a bit all over the place. I'm not going to lie. It is all over the place. But I've always said, and we've now just seen with maybe Koundé and Kimpembe being links, that does Tuchel really know what he wants? I want players that Tuchel has had experience playing with. You know, Kimpembe, that's one. That's why I really want Kimpembe, because I want someone like that. Despite the player and all that, but that's someone who he wants. We look at even Lampard. Lampard comes in and he knew exactly who he wanted. As much as I hate Lampard and how shit the signings were, he knew who he wanted. Tuchel, I don't know. I'm a bit confused. Does he know what he wants? Yes, but I think he's going for big names because I think Bowie is giving him, you want this player? I'll get it for you. Back maybe under the Roman era, it was, maybe we can't get that. Maybe we can. It's no messing around under Bowie. If we had Bowie in last season, we would already have Koundé. We would already have Tuchel for 40 million. We would have had Koundé for 55 million. So now Tuchel probably getting his players, and I think he's expanding as many options as he can. As we've said, Coach Hill, we all know we're in a rebuild. So there's, and I think Bowie's trying to get whoever he can. Whoever as many players as he wants, you try to get linked to get a fair price. Look at the prices we're getting right now. Koulibaly, 30 mil, bargain. Sterling, 35 mil, bargain. Why are we getting, or 45, sorry. Why are we getting these steals is because we're being interested in players that a lot of clubs don't want. That's why we're interested in Kimpembe, in left, right, center signings. That's why we're not just interested in one or two players. We're interested in the whole list. We're interested in FC because we're trying to get the best deal we can for the board and the best players for Tuchel. Hand in hand. Look at Rafinha. We didn't go spend that extra 15 million because he wasn't worth it. So we're not just spending money. We're not splashing it. We're looking at Tuchel's targets while also keeping the savings in check. We're keeping the money in check.
Yeah, I think it makes, but you just put it well for us. I think it makes perfect sense that we're being strategic with our spendings. We're not just throwing money at at the problems. I think all the signings we've brought in, they all make sense. I think you could say they all solve a huge problem for us, and you could argue even with addition of Koulibaly alone, I think we have good. We'll be our lack of because aerially we suffered defensively. We weren't the best at defending aerial crosses, but we were good at defending crosses that were on the carpet. The crosses that came on the air, we had issues defending them. And if anybody wants to argue against that, I'd ask you, why did we concede 3 goals from a single individual against Real Madrid in the Champions League in the 2 legs semi-final game, plus other instances? But that's, by the way, I think we're looking at players very well now before we bring them in, like you argued, and that will go a long way for us. So thank you for that great input, Matt. Let me try and see what else we have to talk about. Okay, let me just quickly catch up with the chat. I don't want it to get too big. Again, we're shooting for at least 200 likes today, and believe me, I know it's you, not because of me, not because of Matt, not because of any panelists here, but because because you are enjoying the show, because of your tremendous support, we will be able to get to 200 likes and even more. So right now we have 55 likes. Again, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. I will try to catch up with what we have in the chat. And but the moment we switch topic, I will scroll to the very bottom of the chat so that we're not going back and forth. Again, thank you for 57 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. You guys are absolute legends. And also, while you're at it, go check out Matt's YouTube channel. Again, it's called a Zvoy YouTube channel. Matt, if you get a chance, please share the link in the description section. I know I will still share the link in the chat so that they can go check it out. And now I'll still share it in the description section. Sorry?
I'm not mod. I can't, but I'll send it to you in the private chat.
You're not mod? I didn't know that. Apologies. I'll take care of that in a bit.
That's fine.
Again,
I don't really need
be
it.
sure to check out Matt's channel when he shares the link. and I'll try to share it myself, but I just fear my screen will freeze. I hope that doesn't happen because some of my systems in the studio broke now, so I can't use multiple systems. So again, if you haven't liked the video and also do subscribe to the channel, again, what do we have here? There's something I need to take care of. The banner is showing it when I remove the chat. You see what shows, and I'm supposed to kill that, but in a bit I'll do that. You're still testing positive. Leah, please let us know how you're doing. Let us know if you're no longer test positive to that. What you know what the C word, but we've been praying for you. It says Gabriel, a Slonina agent has informed the Chicago Fire that they have agreed a deal with Chelsea Football Club. Liam, thank you very much for that update right there. We sincerely do appreciate that. But more importantly, let us know you're doing better. And thanks for asking that, True Blue. Says, I would love to see Ocho go on loan and get minutes. I wouldn't love to see him go on loan. I think Thomas Tuchel trusts him. I think we're seeing flashes of what he can do. I think we'll see the best of Cho this coming season. Everyone should let TT pick his team. I think he's doing that. Pick his team, as he will be judged by results and nothing else. All these are talking about bringing in every former academy player being hyped in the tabloids. It's just wrong. Again, we have to be honest here. No matter how we see it, no matter how long we discuss it, no matter what excellent debate we have about it, it all comes down to what the manager wants, and we've been told that. So again, questioning the club's choices in the market, I don't think would do us any good. It rather would just be stressing ourselves off. You would always know many of the young talents with Chelsea aren't patient. Again, that has become a trend right now. And if you try to see things from their perspective, you can't blame them. For instance, let's look at the case of Conor Gallagher. Yes, he's been brilliant out there on loan at Crystal Palace. If he comes back and you tell him, okay, that you're gonna play like cup games, like 10, let's say, I'm just using that as an example, 15 matches by the end of the season, by the time the season ends, and he knows if he goes back to Crystal Palace, he's gonna get like at least 25 games. And then it's a World Cup year, and it's already been called up to the English national team. There's no way you can tell me. I know some people argue he's not going to go to the World Cup with England, but the kid himself would believe that if he does well during the length of the season, he gets called up and he may well go to World Cup. It's as simple as that. And then that's when you say he's not going to allow you to keep him at the club. He will ask to leave. So that's just one example. Again, some of them aren't good enough and still wants that to happen. Some of them are good enough and want game time. So again, it's something you just try to see it from the players' own perspective before you judge them. Kunde better than Ake. Again, that's your argument. Kunde can play right back and Kimpembe be play left. You're on the left-hand side. Let's just phrase it like that. Again, Matt, I'm going to come to you. Your thoughts on the argument regarding the young players, how they're not patient and all that.
I mean, yeah, a lot of them aren't patient, but okay. So I said this before. I said I understand Colwill's situation. He wants first team football, but this is not Disneyland. This is Chelsea Football Club. He has to understand.
What a way to phrase it.
He has to understand. He's 19. He hasn't proven anything to go. Oh yeah, he deserves a start. If we sell Sarr, then he can come in as a left centre back. But for his own benefit, I would send him on a loan. We put him because if we look at it right, we're getting 3 centre backs. Koulibaly. Oh no, sorry, we got Kimpembe on the right, Koundé on the left, Koulibaly in the middle. Let's say. Then the backup on the right will be Chalobah, backup in the middle will be Silva, and backup on the left will be Colwill. That's if we sell Sarr. But if Sarr stays, Sarr will be the backup on the left. So I would loan Colwill again because that's what he needs, and be patient with him. As I said, if we want the best out of him, we've got to be patient. We had to. I don't want to use the word force, but we had to kind of implement Chalobah because of the loss of Kurt Zouma. Thankfully, I would say that worked out a little bit in our favor. He didn't exceed, but he didn't do the worst. It was average. He still needs a lot of work though. But the best thing for a youngster is to go out on loan. Look at Gallagher. He was very patient with it. He still is patient with it. I think he's happy to go on another loan probably. But we look at Gilmour and Colwill. These guys aren't really. I don't know. They're not patient. I don't know why. Tomori was very patient. He got his chance. Lampard didn't want him. He got rid of him. Gahey, You know, he got his chance when he started playing continuous football in the Premier League. That's what we need. We need to start sending Colwill, send him to Nottingham Forest or something. Send him to a Premier League team where he can play consistent, because that's what would be the best for our youngsters. And then when they've proven themselves, they can come back. It's not rocket science, to be honest.
It's not actually not that simple. Again,
Coach, I'll be honest,
yeah, go
Coach.
ahead.
I don't think it's that hard to understand. If the guy hasn't proven anything, then he doesn't deserve to be in the team. So where does he go? Back on loan, or sell him? Like, I don't know. The Chelsea call him, oh, but he passes like this, but he hasn't shown anything. Like, what evidence is there to show he deserves to start? He needs to go on a loan. But I understand we can have different perspectives on it.
Yeah, I get the argument. You want a reaction to a mistake. Look at Romelu Lukaku. Oh my gosh, Mikael.
Go back here.
I know you're gonna start a fight there with True Blue. Matt, were you saying something?
No, I was wondering who's Gobaku? Is that supposed to be like what's that reference to Lukaku?
Yeah, if you're saying if you want a reaction to a mistake, look at Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah. I get it now. I'm a bit slow.
That's hilarious. Again, I get it. I get the joke. Again, if you're watching, we have 127 people watching right now. And we have 61 likes. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. I'm going to try to catch up, with the chat a beat. And I think I'll maybe, Mike, can you send me the link to your channel again? Let me share it again. Trying to now come back to the panel. Let's see what we have there, because we have some interesting contributions there. Conor Gallagher has all it takes to break into our starting 11. Here's something I'm going to break to you. He was brilliant at Crystal Palace, and they play a different system. I think if he comes back in, the question is, where is the manager going to deploy him? And you could argue that the way Patrick Vieira, how he approaches the game is very different from the way Thomas Tuchel approaches the game. I hope he adapts. Because I've seen what I like the most about him is his industry. What I like, about him also again is his ability to arrive, at the box at the right time, and he will get us more goals. Like I've argued, that he's somewhat similar to Mason Mount in terms of, their ability to give 150% whenever they're on the pitch, even when they're mentally tired. That's why there was a period when Mason Mount was mentally tired. You only find out he was mentally tired. To tell that he was mentally tired, his final decisions in the final third, or some silly mistakes he make, but he still pressure opposition players. He pressed very well. Still, that energy was still there, but mentally he needed to rest. They have that in common. But I think he'd be able to get us more goals than Mason Mount does, because he arrives at the box more often. But then again, that's my argument. Kimpembe is so aggressive, and right now, we need a that with Haaland and Darwin Núñez coming in. So your fear is to get in defenders that would deal with Darwin Núñez and Erling Haaland. I think Haaland, you could argue, Man City signed him not just for his finishing ability, because he's got power too, which means he'd do well in the Premier League. Again, he grew up in England too, so probably is well aware how the game is played here. But that's, by the way, again, that's a serious one there. 189 cm for Kimpembe. Again, please check that in France squad. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm saying there. You spot on. We don't have aggressive players that would do anything to see the game over the line. Yep, aggression is important, and that was why our defense this past season, the last 2 seasons, or let me say under Thomas Tuchel, has been, you could say, one of the best in the Premier League, at least. Let me phrase it like that. Why do I say that? But again, we learned something when Kante and Kovacic got injured, and Jorginho also, how important it is, if we're playing that system, to have 2 sixes who are able, to protect the defense. But my point here is, we need a mix of aggression. We need a mix of, cool-headedness, intelligence. We need that balance. You need aggression. We need, intelligence. We need pace. Then you have a perfect defensive line. We had that before. So after losing Rudiger, it's important that we bring in someone like Kimpembe. So this is a very, very, in fact, a delicious argument. Tribly says a puncher player is a red, and it's pronounced Tuchel, not Tuchel. Okay, thank you for that correction like that. I don't want to laugh too much here because I will start sweating. Kimpembe is confused because he's been at PSG since he was 10 years old. Paris is home, so leaving will be a very big step in his career and has to make sure it is the right one. Under Thomas Tuchel, who knows him, or he's played under him, I think you could argue will be a right movement. I don't think why you think otherwise. Werner Iswara Logan, Log, Loganathan, my brother, it's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? He says with PSG having this Parisian agenda as well right now, but would love Kimpembe at Chelsea. I do really want him. You and I the same. So thank you very much for that. Kimpembe is kind of scared of stepping. No, I don't think that's what's the case. He's of his comfort zone. He must come to London. He will enjoy it. I get your argument, but I don't think that's what that should be. Again, I'm going to switch the topic a bit. So I'm going to skip to the very bottom so that whatever I'm reading will be aligned with whatever topic we're talking about. So if I missed any of your contributions in the chat, apologies again. But very soon we'll get a studio engineer, and we'll work on something that whatever input you have, you'll be seeing it on the screen. So it's not like we're missing out all your inputs there. So apologies about that already. So Matt, I'm going to come back to you. You talked about the importance of players going out on loan, right? Let's talk about Harvey Vale. He's the current European youth champion, right? And he captained his team to the final, and he did quite well in the competition. Yeah, did you follow the competition?
I saw him win it. Yeah.
You saw him win it. So what do you suggest we do with such a player? I have my argument for his case is unique.
With a player that there isn't a position available for, I would let him develop. Again, it's like there is no rush. The guy's, I think, 21 or 20, or he's 18. Sorry, however, he's 18, isn't he? He's the 18.
I'm not sure how old he is.
I think he's 18. Actually, no, yeah, he's. I think he's just a couple months before me. So he is 18. He's still very, very young. Like there is zero rush on this guy. Like we made the mistake with Hudson-Odoi. We brought him in way too early. We all know that. We haven't sent him on loan. We had him in since the Surrey days, and 3 years later, 4 years later, this guy's still in the same position he was. That's what happens when you rush a player. There's no rush on Harvey Vale. Let him succeed in the youth. Maybe when he's 19, 20, we send him on a loan, or then he can make it as a backup. But there is zero chance we put him in the first team squad at the moment.
Just keep going. Let me put out a poll.
There's no point.
Keep going. Let me put out a poll.
Yeah, there's just no point in rushing him. It's just for the sake of his career. Just let him develop.
Yeah, keep going, Matt. I'm coming.
He's like a whiskey. He's like a whiskey. The more you let him rest, the more you let him sit, the better it'll get. So just let him sit and rest. Yeah, let him develop. Let him, play in the academy where he runs the show and all that. Then he'll get great confidence come 2021. Then we can, have a different conversation when it comes in. But at the moment, stay in the youth.
Here's the thing, Matt. Everything has timing. Everything you do in life has timing. From the time you started doing any business, or let's say the time you. Let me just say everything has timing. And if you ask me, in the case of Harvey Vale, I think the perfect timing. He's on a high right now after that competition. The perfect thing to do for him would be to still keep him at the club. Every now and then, you could say, bring him into the first team. He doesn't have to be, part of the first team all the time. But keep him at the club. Don't loan him out. Have him always train with the senior team. But whenever time that's the youth team needs him, because he's still part of them, he goes and play with them. But in most cases, use him. Let him train with the first team. Whenever given game time now and then, here and there, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, that helps him, because now he's still high on confidence after winning a prestigious youth competition, and he captained the team. The timing will be to take it from there. Don't let him drop. Follow up that confidence and let him build on that, on his achievement there by being part of the first team. He doesn't necessarily need to start, quite a lot of games. But be strategic about it. Believe me, you get the best out of the player because at the same time he's still part of the academy. At the same time, he gets to train with the first team more often than not, and then he gets to learn with this play under the manager. That's the first team coach. That's my how I see it. But I want to get your thoughts on my suggestion.
No, I understand it. I won't be against that if we have him still at the club, and then as you said, like we did this season. I think we played him for a couple of minutes this season. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can stay at the club. As I said, I will keep him in the academy till he's 20. Keep him here for 2 more years, and then we can dictate to have a conversation when he's about 20. But at the moment, it's great. We keep him here. If we need him for a game for a couple of minutes, bring him on. Yeah, that's no problem.
How does a 21-year-old play in the under-19s? Vale needs a championship loan.
He's
Yeah,
18.
if he's
He's
gonna,
18.
yeah, I think
He's 18.
he won't play with them again. It's because
He's
we
18.
weren't sure how old he is. But I'd rather us keep him again than letting him go out on loan. But if I don't know how to argue that one because this will be the perfect time to keep him, to let him build on that confidence he has after captaining that young side, young Lions, to the glory in that competition. Again, maybe if we get a Premier League loan club that wants him, give it to them that can guarantee him a starting place. But that's difficult to see. Usually there's a championship. But that's, by the way, I say Colwill and Broya are very good talent for us, and I think a loan deal would be good for them to gain more experience. Are you talking about Colwill and Broya? I actually wouldn't advocate for those two to go out on loan, especially Broya. But Colwill, again, it's just a very difficult situation because it's not easy for the club when you have to. A lot of clubs, coming, trying to make contact with the club to find out if these players are for sale. They know these players are we're aware of it, so they'd be torn between going, joining other clubs to get more game time. Usually, the only option that the club will have is just sell them and add a buyback clause in their deals. That's why, again, I don't blame these players in most cases because it's out there. Clubs want them, and if they stay at Chelsea, they get less game time. But if they, get sold to other clubs, they become starters there and develop faster than they develop if they stay at the club. It's that simple. But I get the argument. I'll see what the people in the chat thinks. Yes, about Ake. Can we move on? Again, says Kimpembe is not that intelligent. Koulibaly is a definition of a blend of aggression and intelligence, not Kimpembe. Kimpembe is aggressive only. Again, but when we have a mix of, when I talk about intelligence, I wasn't talking about Kimpembe. What I was talking, where Kimpembe comes into my description of a perfect defensive line, where you should have aggression, intelligence, and ability on the ball, cool-headedness, and all that. Kimpembe comes in as the guy, with aggression that is needed. And believe me, that is something that can actually be polished. And we already have Koulibaly, which epitomizes intelligence on its own, of which when I talked about him, I shared a video where he pushed his teammate into position. That's our absolute intelligence, if you want to look at it that way. So, yeah, I think it's something that can be polished. It depends who you're playing with and the team you play for. Can't wait for preseason. I can't wait either. And again, have Vale to Fulham somewhere he guaranteed game time. I think that would be good, but we don't want him to, to go join.
You can have game time in the under 19s. It's like there's no rush. As I said, you can still play in our academy. Like he's 18. There's no rush. Like I don't think there's even discussion. Like he's just in the academy. Like there's no discussion here.
Yeah, respect to a brother, John Farley, and nice to see Lee Bell here. Lee Bell, how you doing? I sincerely do hope you're doing well. John Farley, respect to you too. Says again, I'm going to skip to the very bottom. Let me see what he says here. It would be a best to keep him while also playing for the academy and having a vital role with the first team. I'd argue that again, if you think of anything that will make that impossible, please do let me know. Who you guys prefer, Ampadu or Colwill? Seems like Colwill is the new shiny new toy for Cobham supporters. I think that's what it is. Everyone now, Chelsea fans would rather keep Colwill, like you said, the new shiny toy for Chelsea fans. I think they've forgotten about Ampadu a bit, but he's still a huge talent.
I'll be
Sorry.
honest, coach. I'll be honest. I would rather keep Ampadu. This, if I could pick one, I would pick Ampadu because he's more
Mm,
versatile. Tuchel likes a versatile player. He can play centre back. He can play CDM. Main CDM, second centre back. I don't think he's 100% ready, but I would give him a chance over Cobble. Cobble's not really needed that much. Cobble we can develop more. Ampadu's already been
mm.
on heaps of loans. Let's give him a chance as a backup then, or as a rotational, as we say on this channel. We can't say backup.
Yep, yep. Let's talk about this one, Matt. It's about Jonathan Klaus. Jonathan Klaus. He's a fine player. His numbers last year, and I mean he's not the most popular of all players. Or let me say he's not popular. He's not the most popular of all wing backs, or the most popular of all right wing backs, if you want to phrase it that way. He's a French international, and he's good enough. Your thoughts on this player? I think we slacked a bit, and this is a player that's a video of him saying how much he loves the club, and how much he's a Chelsea fan. Again, that video circulated. I don't know if I'd be able to show it here without getting into trouble. But here's the fact. I think why didn't we move in for this guy? I think negotiation would have been easy. Now they're talking about what a steal it is for 8 million. I think pounds or euros. But even if it is pounds, it's still an absolute steal.
It's
That
pounds.
that will remind me as another. That's a similar deal for Cesar Quetta, who end up being you could argue one of the most disciplined professionals we've ever had at the club. Your thoughts, Matt, on Jonathan Klaus, and I'm going to share his statistics on the screen in a bit.
I don't think this is a bit of this isn't really the biggest debate we should be having. It's I don't think any Chelsea fan minds him coming in, but I don't mind if he doesn't. Whatever happens, happens. I would take him as a backup. Yeah, obviously gives us more depth. I would have him, but if we don't get him, I'm not gonna be crying over it. It's he's a
Why
great
have
player.
you have you actually watched him play?
I've watched him play, but I've always said he's gonna be on our right hand side, right?
So
It's
why are
great. We
you
can get a
referring to him as a backup, Matt?
because we're not gonna stop Reece James's development. I've always said I love competition for players, but I will not give a competition to Reece James. Reece James is going to be one of the best Chelsea players to play in the right back position ever. I will not stop his development by getting an 8 million player.
Here's what I
He,
want to
might-
get.
he,
I
he might
understand from
hang on,
you,
hang on, hang on,
Matt.
hang on. He might be. Hang
Mm-hmm.
on, I'll just quickly finish, and then he might be better than Reece James. Good Jonathan Klaus. I don't know. Who cares, right? But I don't want Reece James to have competition. I want Reece James playing every single match, and then when he needs a rest, we give him a rest by bringing this player in. So as I said, I
No,
don't
that's
mind
not
any backup
okay.
that
I
comes
don't
in.
understand that argument, Matt. Can you explain yourself very well? I honestly do not understand that argument.
So I said at first, I don't mind him coming in, and I don't mind if he doesn't come in. And you said, but have you seen how good he is? And I said, I don't care how good he is. He can be great, fantastic. I'll bring him in. I'm not against it. He's got great stats. I've seen the stats. He had the most creative chances in League One. That's great. I would bring him in personally, but I would not bring in a player to stop the development of Reece James. I wouldn't go and splash money out on a right back. I think this is perfect. But if you don't get him, that's fine. But I don't care. I don't think Tuchel wants him. I don't know because as I said, like the word or not, he's going to be a backup, which Reece James is our right wing back / right back starter. He will be
Here's the
when
thing.
Reece James needs a rest. He will
Forget
come in.
about how you like Rhys James and how good you think Rhys James is, Matt. Let's be a bit of objective here. Now, it's important. If you want to be a big club, you should always have players, whoever is on the bench should be as equally as good as those on the pitch starting games. If you remember this last season, I don't know why. I like it that you're arguing that from that perspective. Last season, we suffered the moment Reece James got injured. We suffered the moment Ben Chilwell got injured because what we had, the players we had, that would come on for them, that came on for them, were backups. They weren't as good as the starters that Reece James and Ben Chilwell were. We suffered. You get my
Yeah,
point now.
exactly.
And
That's
then
why I
in the
said. That's
midfield
why I
area
said.
also, let
That's
me
why I
calm
said
down. In the
bringing
midfield
him in
area,
would be
when N'Golo
great.
Kante got injured, Jorginho got injured, Ben Chilwell, when those guys got injured, I didn't know. I don't recall if that was the time the three of them got injured at the same time. We suffered too. But our
I
defense
don't think you
started
understood
suffering because they didn't have
my
proper
point.
protection in the 2-6s we were fielding. So my argument is, why are you telling me you don't want competition for Reece James? It doesn't
I never
even
said I don't want
help his
competition.
development. If Rhys James doesn't
I
have
don't
a
want us to go
proper
splash money.
competition, he's not going to be that as good as he should be. He needs to understand that there's somebody who's on the bench, there's somebody who's at the club who is as equally as good as he is, that if he falters, that the person will come in and will probably do a good enough job or a better job. That's what we want at Chelsea. We don't want a case where you're saying, then before you know, Reece becomes comfortable. It's a human thing, and it can be happen to you subconsciously. You know, when you don't have competition, you just let your guards down. Which I don't think I disagree with you. I love you, but honestly and respectfully, I
I
don't
don't think you
agree with
understood
you. I think
my
we should
point.
get Jonathan Klaus if he's in a better form than Reece James at any point. Let him start if Reece James is faltering. It's as simple as that. You come in.
Yeah, I wanted to let you finish because I don't think you understood my point. As I said, I'm all for signing Klaus. I think he's a great player. But my point was, I think it's great because I don't want to go splash money on another wing back position because I don't want someone stopping the development of Reece James. Now, Klaus comes in, he brings great competition to Reece James. Yes, that will enhance his performance because you have to play more harder. Obviously, you guys know how much I talk about competition. It's the best. That's why I want Kepa to stay because it gives Mendy competition. So Klaus would be a fantastic option. But as I said, if he doesn't come in, I'm not going to be fast because I don't know. Tuchel might have an own goal. Tuchel might have another plan. That's why I'm not fast if he comes in or not.
Everything
I
all
would
right,
personally
Matt?
get him. What was that?
Everything all right? You paused a bit.
Yeah, no, I'm watching the game in
Oh,
Australia
okay.
and it was an own goal. I just got
Okay,
upset.
go ahead.
But as I said, I'm not against the signing. Great signing, 8 mil. We get it done, we get it done. But if you don't get it done, I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna be upset. I think Tuchel has a plan, and if he wants Klaus in his plan, he will get him in.
Yep, yep. Again, I'm the way you're phrasing it is where I have a problem.
Let me
You're
actually let
phrasing
me
it.
reiterate because I've said
Yeah.
this multiple times and no one's had a problem with it. I don't know why people are having a problem with it now. I said I would not spend money like on a Hakimi or an Adama Toure to come in and stop the development of Reece James. Now, this is my personal opinion. I think Reece James is going to become one of the best right backs in the world. All right, so I wouldn't
But
go and
he's not
splash
gonna
money
become
to
that
bench
if
him.
you're
Hang
always
on, I
giving
know.
him game time without competition.
Yes, but I'm not saying to not give him competition. I'm saying not to splash money on a Hakimi, on a Adama Toure, on someone who's massive. So then where maybe this player can become better than Reece James because maybe he might become better than him for a couple games, but Reece James is ultimately going to be the better player. It's a hard point to say. I spent 45 minutes on my channel explaining it. No one had an issue with it. Right? I don't know why there's an issue now, but burnouts are real. Reece James, I 100% agree. We continue to play him, he'll burn out. So I don't think I think we get Klaus if Aspi leaves. That's what I've always said. We'll get Klaus if Aspi leaves. Right? So if Klaus comes, fantastic. It brings great depth. It brings great backup. It brings great competition for Reece James. But I wouldn't go and spend money out to someone to replace Reece James. I want someone to come in and replace Mendy, Chilwell, Havertz, Mount. I want people to come and replace. I want people to compete. But personally, in my personal opinion, I don't want anyone to come and compete very highly with Reece James. I want someone to come in and just rotate with Reece James when he's tired. Because as I said, Reece James will become the best player in the world as a right back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really understand your argument, but I'm still arguing against that. I think you love Rhys James so much, you actually
I don't.
inadvertently.
I'm not even I'm not even Reece James fan, but I'm just saying what I think. Like you know me, I don't really like. I don't have a favorite player or anything. I like all the players, but at the end of the day, I said bringing Klaus. Yes, it'll be a great signing to finish it off.
Yeah, again, let's quickly look at Jonathan Klaus's numbers. For 2020, 2021, he played 33 games. He scored 3 goals and 6 assists, which isn't bad. And it looks like he's becoming even better at executing the right wing back role. And then in 2021, 2022, 37 games, he scored 5 goals and assisted 11 goals. So his numbers
That's
are pretty
assists.
close
Yeah,
to
it's
James.
great.
He will make a very good competition for James. And man, even from, let's say, from the perspective of not burning Reece James out, he needs every now and then rotate the players, at least for rotation's sake. I think we should consider this.
But why is it rotate with James? But when we got a horrible Edouard Mendy in goals, it's nah. Let's not rotate because he's our first keeper. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. Do you want me
I get you. Yeah, man, I
when
get
it's
your
Reece
argument. Yeah,
James,
go ahead.
it's oh yeah, blah 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 blah. But when it's Edouard Mendy who's having the worst state of his career, we don't sub him off. Oh, because he's a keeper. Or we don't
Hmm.
rotate keepers. I don't know. So that's I'm just keeping it consistent. But as I said, Klaus will bring great depth to our team. It's a great signing if we can do it. I think he will come if we get rid of Aspie.
Yeah, again, let's catch up with the chat and then I'll come back. I think we have an update. Again, here says that Vel will not get first team game time. Yep, I think that's what happened though. Dean Leon or Lens already bought this guy. No, I think one of the French teams wanted to sign him, but I think his is good that we're hearing even United wants him right now. That it's actually a fight between Chelsea and Manchester United, but we'll see what happens. Klaus is a must for me. I get that he is 28, but his production last season was elite. Yep, that's it. That's Kami. Kimpembe again. This is James Creener's lineup. If you have time, look at it. Mohamed Sharkani says yes, yeah. Klaus is good. He's a fine player. I really would like also to go get him. Ampadu is fit to replace Kante. Maybe not replace. I think I keep Ampadu, keep Kante. And Ampadu, all he needs is just, have him in the team for a while. I think he'll pick up again. I think lack of consistency in terms of game time, you could argue, has always been the problem. And lack of consistency in, him concentrating in a certain position has always, I think that has scuppered his development a bit, because the truth about being a versatile player is that the manager, if would like to, you're a good tool in the hands of the manager, but if you're still young, it's not good for your development, because you're not focused in mastering a particular position, and the manager will always come to you to help go fulfill a certain role in a certain position if he has a problem there. Again, that's how I argue it. Coach, you said back up. Yeah, I said it, but I was trying to explain something. But correct me. Yeah, he caught me, but maybe not, and not in the sense you mean. But I hope you understand. I do not trust Kimpembe at all. He's just aggressive and makes a lot of mistakes. He will attract red cards. Not cool-headed. I will pick a Vardiol anytime. I don't trust. I don't trust. What do you say? I don't trust Kunde's ability to. Again, you have every right to present your argument. Klaus is good, but honestly, he's only backup for James if we sign him. No, I think he's good enough to actually start. We just would decide, okay, let Reece James take a break. You can bring him in, and he would do a good enough job, if not even better. No backups, only startups. Fight for game time. That's what we want. Thank you very much, Comics, for saying that. Colwill is better than Sarr. We'll never pick Sarr ahead of Colwill. Sarr is a terrible defender.
Sarr's not even like Sarr. I don't get it. What has Colwill proved to be better than?
Again, yeah, that's how they, people know how they present their
hang
argument.
on, I cut out.
I can, yeah.
I was saying what has Colwill proved to be better than Sarr? I don't think Sarr's the worst defender, but I would let Colwill develop and let Sarr take the backup. That's what I would do personally. But if it's the other way around, that's fine. I don't care. But
yeah,
Sarr's not the worst.
I wouldn't say Sarr is that bad. There's a reason why it looks like he's one of the worst purchases for the club or signings. Again, we had our defense. I'm going to repeat myself again. Had no proper protection then. The 2 6s were playing. I think we're mixing it up to find a solution, because I think Kante was out. I think Jorginho was out at one point in one of those games. We played him in games where he got exposed. And when that happens, defenders are bound to make mistakes. But most people don't see that. There are games he did quite well, especially when we played 4 at the back. He did well, but I don't want to get into those. Matt, I think before we'll skip to another topic, I think there's a question for you. Matt, the more competition any player has, the better the player becomes. Thank you very much, Liam Lane, for saying that. I have somebody who's on my side. Hi, who do you think our third signing would be? Please, again, I'm going to highlight this, but keep your input to what we're talking about. That makes it easier for the conversation. We don't want to be going up, down, left, right, and it becomes even more confusing. Matt, this is a question for you. Matt, do you think bringing him in will make James raise his level? That's a question.
Well, that is a good question, because, yeah, he can. And that's why I said I don't mind Klaus coming in. And rotating with James. But my point was that I think this is a great signing, but I wouldn't go and spend money for an Hakimi where he's not needed. Where we need someone like a Klaus. Like Klaus, we can get for 8 mil. We go spend rubbish money on Hakimi for 65 mil. When Klaus would be better for our system and better for our options. We need someone to raise James' level, but just to be, I know you don't like the word here, but just to be a backup. When James is tired, he comes in. I don't want someone as good as James or like on the same level because there's no point. I want someone just to come in and when James is tired, rest him. And Klaus can still bring that competitive standpoint to James. But that's my point. Klaus will be a great signing. It's not a lot of money, and it brings James some clarity. All right, I can put 100% in this game because I know I got a backup who's as good as me who can come in the next game if God forbid I get injured.
Mm-hmm. And he says, Kuchila, love your family. That I'm lost. Let me know what you're talking about. I really want to know. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Okay. Alexander Arnold says, says Alexander Arnold doesn't have anyone to really challenge him. He has someone to back him up. Is that what you want at Chelsea? Again, I don't want that at Chelsea. I have to be honest with you. Again, we have 122 people watching, and we have 76 likes. Again, we can do better than that. Let's shoot for 100 likes as soon as possible. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video. Thank you very much. And True Blue says, burn him out. Yeah, Matt, go out, burn him out. Why don't you?
No, but look. I'll say this point now. Whoever just brought up that point about Trent Alexander-Arnold, good point. Would we bring in a Trent Alexander-Arnold for free? No, I would not. Because why would we have two players competing for a spot when we know Reece James is clear and miles? Well, because Reece James is the best right back in the world.
You're confusing me, really. I have to be honest with you. You're really confusing me even further. I'm not sure what you're trying to achieve here with that argument.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't bring someone on Reece James's level. I wouldn't bring a backup for Reece James. I would bring a backup. I would bring a player who's on Chilwell's level, Havertz's level. I would bring these players to compete, but I wouldn't want anyone to come and compete for James. Well, as I said, me personally, I see Reece James as being a world-class right back. So I would get a player like Klaus, who's very cheap, who's experienced as well. He's 29, and comes in when Reece James is tired. I wouldn't go out for a player like Trent Alexander-Arnold, where we see one game Trent, one game James. I don't want that. I don't want James fighting for a position. I want James improving himself, and that's what Klaus would do, but I don't want him fighting for his position. Forget what I'm saying, because if he fights for his position, it will stop his development. And as I said, Reece James is a continuing development. He needs to keep playing.
Rodrigo, I want you to come into that one. Please let us know what you think about Matt's argument.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I kind of understand, kind of get what Matt's saying, but
you kind of.
Because the part that I think he wants to protect his boy Reece James.
It's not even my boy. That's not my boy. I'm just. I'm not even a Reece James fan. I just think the guy's gifted.
I get it. It's not called.
Matt. Let's let him drop.
Go on. Sorry.
Arrizabalaga, I understand, but the thing is, in some games when you see that basically what we don't want is the.
Did we lose him? I think we lost.
I think I lost. I think someone was.
Go ahead. Okay.
Okay. I'll come back. Yeah, I just wanted to say we don't want to drop the level from Reece James to someone who's very, very like that drop in quality. That's what we don't want. Therefore, you want to get someone who's as good as Reece James. Why not better than Reece James? Because what it's gonna do is gonna make sure Reece James is always on his toes, fighting for that position. Reece James should not feel as if, I know he's a world-class player, but I don't think he should feel like he's
indispensable if you want to phrase it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, we're here. We need to challenge for the league. What are we doing here? Are we Dortmund? Are we Arsenal? No, we want to challenge for the league. We want to have the best, the very best in each position. So if we can get someone. Obviously, now the question is, can we one for a reasonable price? If we can, then that's brilliant. So if we can get someone for a reasonable price and with the level as close as Reece James, then that's brilliant. Obviously, I'm not saying we spend £8 million on a player that we can all agree doesn't stand a chance to take Reece James' spot. I don't think that's the case. We need to get someone who's gonna come in, and if he plays better than Reece James, I'm sorry, James, you're gonna have to sit on a bench. That's it. And I feel like I have a sneaky feeling like Ampadu might play right wing back. I just have that feeling.
Sorry, you say Ampadu will play where?
Right wing back.
No, I don't think so. He's flexible enough to play as a centre back.
That's Rafinha.
As one of the 2 6s, he can fulfill that role. I think anywhere in the centre back position, I think he is able. But right wing back, I don't think he's that. Should I say mobile? I think he lacks the mobility to be able to fulfill that role quite well. Again, that's me. Your thoughts, Matt, on that suggestion? Again, the driver comes on with one weird suggestion here. I'm surprised.
I think Rodrigo was saying before how that if someone comes in and competes with Reece James and Reece James gets benched, I said Reece James is probably is our best player in our team. If that happens, that was because he's still developing. Remember, he's still a developing player. So I said I wouldn't give him that list that someone will come in and take your spot. Yes, that might make him work harder. But again, a Klaus would be perfect
player
for
needs
it.
That competition, they need it.
He needs competition, yes, but I wouldn't come in and bring someone to replace him. You don't have to
let them start taking things for granted.
But again, why are we buying Klaus? Let's start from the beginning. Why are we buying Klaus? To back up Reece James, right?
Did you pay attention what happened last season? Not to back up.
Yeah,
to ensure we have 2 players.
To rotate.
Yeah.
Exactly. When Reece James is tired, he comes in and plays. Exactly. So if I said to you, if we were to sign Trent Alexander-Arnold, what would we be doing? We would be making Reece James compete with Trent Alexander-Arnold. So me personally, I wouldn't take that. I would take someone who can come and rotate with Reece James. So Reece James is the starter, and Klaus comes in when he's tired or when he's injured or whatever. I don't want someone like a Trent coming to compete with Reece James because Reece James is already Chelsea's starter. I would want it for Chilwell. I would want it for everyone else, but I just see Reece James as a different player. I see him progressing very, very highly. And I want him to be in the full scheme of development.
Yeah, you have some people supporting you there. Let me check what this poll says. I said, what should Chelsea
exactly.
do?
Shouldn't be rotated, but regularly rested. That's what he should be doing. He should be rested, and that's where Klaus comes in. That's why I left
it on the screen, because you have somebody in the chat supporting you, but I think I disagree with that. I think maybe what you're saying makes sense. What we're saying makes sense. Maybe we're presenting it the wrong way to each other, but again, I hope those in the chat understand. Again, we have the poll says, what should Chelsea do with Harveyville? 37% says keep him. 56% said loan him out. Loan him out on loan. Yeah, that's a good. What a sentence. Send him back to the academy. 7% only. Okay, we'll see.
What?
Again,
that should be the highest percent.
Which one was the highest
the
percent
academy
again?
Is a no-brainer.
Yeah, the highest percent is loan him out, send him out on loan. The lowest percent is send him back to the academy, 6%. Yeah.
Why would we loan him out? This guy still needs to develop in the academy. We did that with Cho. We rushed Cho. We put him in the first team too early. We need him to develop. I
wouldn't say we rushed Cho, because had Sarri been here, had it been not that awful injury, you can't tell what.
Wait, when did he get his massive injury? Was it end of season with Sarri?
No, but he was. Once he picked up on the Sarri, he was on fire until he got injured. So I wouldn't say the better option would have been to loan him out.
Because we play him at a high level too quickly. You put an 18-year-old in the fast-paced league. Yeah, because if you played him in a championship or something,
that's the argument we should be making here.
Anyway, we can't assume that. But anyway.
Yeah, and David Austin, let me see if I'll find that tweet there. He's just saying that the Serge Gnabry, that he's penned a new contract with Bayern Munich, so we can forget about that one. Yeah, from David Austin, it says exclusive. Serge Gnabry has ended speculations over his future by agreeing a new contract with Bayern Munich. A 27-year-old winger set to sign long-term deal in coming days. Interest from some of Europe's biggest clubs, but priority was always Bayern Munich. So the rumors out there that we were looking, like True Blue said yesterday, that were engineered to actually help him get a better deal. I think to get the better deal, I think the more you become a bigger club, like Chelsea, the more players will use you to force their current club to give them more money or make it the engineer stuff. They will make it seem like as if they're gonna leave if you don't give them a better deal. But I'll come back to you guys a bit. I have an update I'd like us to look at. Right now, we have 127 people watching, and we have 85 likes. We need just 15 more likes to get to 100 likes. So thank you for all the love you've shown us here. Rotation is good and will reduce injuries and fatigue and burnout. So thank you very much again. That's the correct one. Mix only you have to contact Coachella via Twitter to get a link to get on the panel. Yep, that's how we roll here. That's the risk in sharing the link to the panel in the chat. We want to know, have at least some measure of something to say we can ID you. We share the link with you so we know to narrow it down if anything goes wrong. Adam says, no, Nathan Ake, I just found out not happy with these. I know most people don't want him, but there's a reason the City set the price that high. I don't think they wanted to let him go. They don't wanted to make sure if we're going to let him go, let's get a lot of money from him. I think they've lost Zinchenko. That's probably the reason why they stuck with that and the whole thing fell through. Javi Veo needs first team football, needs to give him a contract and a loan to a Premier League team like Southampton, Palace, or Brighton. It remains to be seen whether clubs will accept that he's ready to help them do well in the Premier League and then take him from us. Again, the John prefers CFC over PSG. Again, yeah, Serge Gnabry. I think I've heard that. We need to talk about this. Why aren't we serious about getting the young? Or maybe it's just me.
You have to, because I personally don't think. You know how people always say, "Oh, Jorginho defensively." I think people don't realize just maybe the young is not as good. Maybe the issue we have with Jorginho are not gonna be resolved with the young. Anyways, I'll let you continue.
Are you serious right now? I think
Yes,
you
I
always
am.
like to fight with me.
Jorginho, do you know with the young at Barcelona, right? He couldn't take Busquets position. Busquets plays a single pivot, and Busquets is what, 300 years old, and then De Jong is a young guy that came in that team, paid a lot of money for him, and he couldn't take his position. Why? Because he's not good enough. He's not good enough to play in a single pivot, and I don't think he's good enough defensively. What De Jong offers, that I'm not gonna argue, is very good at progressing the ball. So and obviously in La Liga and the Dutch league, he probably has a lot of time on the ball, and obviously international football. I just don't think, because the Premier League is a very different, the very different beast. Look at even players like Rodri, players like what's the guy that we had, Saul Niguez. One thing is, they think they have a lot of time, but they don't. The Premier League will punish you. So with De Jong, if we spend that kind of money, we need to be patient with him as well. And we shouldn't think, oh, he's better than Jorginho now, because the thing that Jorginho does, he can do them. But I just think, like, we think the grass is green on the other side with this name. I like him. I'm not gonna lie, but I would like him if we can pair him with someone that will also do the dirty work for him. So he has to play
Matt, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah.
On De Jong, well, great, bring him in, but it doesn't mean we sell Jorginho. Jorginho's our most important player this season. We've got Koulibaly. Who's the only player who played with Koulibaly? Jorginho. So why would we get rid of Jorginho? He's the only player not playing in the World Cup as well, so we can save him for more games. I don't understand the fan base. Like, he's our most important player this season. De Jong comes in, he brings in some great competition. Again, that's when we look at the word competition. We need players to compete with Jorginho, because Jorginho's a declining player. He's getting old, right? So that's when De Jong comes. I would bring him in. But doesn't mean Jorginho leaves, man. Jorginho is staying, like it or not. He's our most important midfielder, and he's going to be our captain next season. You see him. If you saw that Raheem Sterling video, he was the only one out there signing fans' shirts before Raheem came.
One
He's
fan said he want to pull his sick to sign his shirt, and Jorginho sign it. Jorginho is shirt.
That fan, I hope that fan goes and supports Arsenal for all I care. That guy's a twat. I don't know what he's doing, man. Who does he think this guy is? This is Jorginho. This is a third place Ballon d'Or contender, and he's crying because he held his pen out for a player to come and sign it. Jorginho couldn't resist the pen. He had to come and sign it. So Jorginho's our proper captain. He's going to come in. He's going to be our captain. If you don't think Jorginho is important, go watch a football match because he's going to be the most important player this season.
Yeah. Do we have multiple Josh CFCs? Because I'm confused now looking at this Josh
Yeah,
on the
That's
screen.
not
I'm not.
that's not
that's
American Josh.
that's not the
That's
Josh.
okay. That's not the American Josh.
That's not Joshy boy. No.
Okay, again, okay, this Josh, European, American, Arabian, Nigerian, wherever you're from, welcome to the channel. Nice to see you here. He says apparently a signing was offered to Chelsea by his agent. I haven't heard that. This is my first time of hearing that. But welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Chelsea Perspective family. James Carino already said earlier. Again, I want the young Chelsea. I want him honestly. Matt, here's Lee Bell showing some love to you. He's saying he's
Big
speaking
ups.
facts.
Always.
Okay, some love to you from Lee Bell. Lee, I think Matt appreciate that, but I'm
Big
not
up.
happy that you're siding with Matt. I thought you were my friend, but it's okay. I will survive. Liamlen says, hi, Josh. Asane back with Starling would be good. I think, yeah, that brings to mind how good he was with Starling. And it doesn't look like things are going well for him, at Bayern at this point. So, Rodrigo, your thoughts, should we be going for Sane? Maybe he helps bring out the best, in Raheem Sterling, because they were brilliant together with Silva.
I would love Leroy Sané at Chelsea. I think if you give me the opportunity to sign him or Serge Gnabry, I'll take Sané any day of the week. He's an amazing player. The thing with Pep, I think what Pep does is he sort of like remove the individuality of the players. When you play for Pep, you become almost like he removed the the flair in that's even Sterling. You can see like, you become like just like a robot, just part of the team. So you can't do. Look at Grealish. He can take man on when he was at Villa. He can do a lot of things. Same thing with Sané when he was obviously when he signed for City. He was doing that, but Pep just had to remove that sort of individuality in him. And he's a player that for me is direct, can take a man on, and is very creative. So if you have a chance to bring him, we should. But now the question is, how much is Bayern Munich asking? And his wages as well, because he's one of the
I think it all comes down to the how many years he still has left on his contract.
I think these sort of talks is obviously us fans pushing it. But I was reading Tuchel's Tuchel's interview. I think Tuchel. I don't think he wants to sign any more forward players. I think to sign any more forward players, it will mean one or two players have to leave, because the way he was talking, it seems as in his mind he has Werner, Kai, and potentially Sterling and Batshuayi to play in that number 9 position. And then I
That's gonna
asked him,
surprise people, but he's played under him.
and I exactly did at Dortmund, didn't it? And then I assume on the wings we will stick with what we have, as in if ZX stays and Asamoah and Mount at times it will play there. Some people don't like to hear this, but it will. So I think the front position is fill up at the moment. His focus is mainly in defense and probably in midfield. But if there's any chance,
How about if Bayern, if Julian Nagelsmann, if he wants his boy Timo Werner, wouldn't that make it easier?
Brilliant, yeah. We could do a deal there. Yeah, we can tell him, like, listen, you want Werner. Werner is an amazing player for your system. And then we could do a thing to get Leroy Sané. But that, for me, this is just us fantasizing for the players that we want. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah.
And you also have to remember. You also have to remember that him Nagelsmann openly, he came out openly and said. And by the way, Sané is valued at $66 million dollars, which would be less in pounds.
Yeah,
I think it's not a bad deal. He's 26. Wow, he's still young. So if we can get him, I'd be happy. Again, you must remember. You all remember also that Julian Nagelsmann openly came out and said, "We don't know how to use. We don't know how to use what's his name, Timo Werner." So, Matt, coming to you, what do you think about the suggestion that we, get Leroy Sané? and how that will help bring out the best out of Raheem Sterling, because we've talked about that on this show before. Starling of 2018, 2019, when he scored 20 goals, 11, where I think one of the years he scored 20 goals and around how many assists? I think one of them he had more at double digits in terms of assists and something like that. But Sane was still there and Silva was still there. Do you think getting Sane, do you think it makes sense for us to go for Leroy Sane and maybe give him Timo Werner, who's struggled in the Premier League, but Sane didn't struggle in the Premier League. It just seemed as if he wanted more playing time under what's his name, Pep Guardiola, but he couldn't get that. Your thoughts, Matt?
Well, he went to Bundesliga, an easier league, and since going there, he hasn't proven anything new. He's still a better player when he was at City than he's done anything at Bayern. So look at previous experience. I don't know. It's not convincing me. But if we use Werner in the deal, I don't mind it. I don't want it though to happen because I don't think Sane improves our squad. It could maybe improve Sterling, but again, we're just looking back at Premier League. I haven't seen anything recently. Like obviously, yes, they can improve it. There's factors here, but I just don't see it. I personally wouldn't take Sane. If anyone, I would take from Bayern. I would take Gnabry, but I'm sick of Bundesliga attacks at the moment. It hasn't worked out for any of us recently, any teams recently. So I'm staying away from the Bundesliga attack this window.
Yeah. Again, I think you make a good point there, but I'd take him in a heartbeat. Honestly, I'm being factual here because he's a player I like. Again, we have an update I'd like to share with us before we move on to the next thing. Just give me a few minutes. Let me try and share it with you. Sorry, my system, because I have to fix the other system. My system is horrible. It doesn't, until I fix the system to the right, which speeds up everything. I have a serious problem here. And here's the update I'm talking about here. Again, we should just forget about signing Robert Lewandowski. It says it, and it is from David Austin. He says a proposed transfer of Robert Lewandowski from Bayern Munich to Barcelona is moving towards agreement between clubs. Not done yet, but heading in that direction at present, and optimism around the situation. It will now happen again, according to the Athletic, also FC Bayern. Those he's not quoting them, he's just tagging them in the quote. But then again, I know you understand that. Again, that's a good update. So again,
yes. Sevilla removing Koundé. Let's go. He's coming.
Why did you get? And I showed that accidentally.
That's more important. Who cares about Lewandowski?
Let's move to it. Since I'm showing it, let's move to it. Again, that's an important update, and I wanted to talk about it. We have 118 people watching, and we have 95 likes. Just 5 more likes to get to 100 likes. Then we'll see if we're able to get it to 200 likes. So thank you. I'd be ungrateful not to say thank you to you guys for the love you've shown this channel. And we're at 4,353 subscribers. We're getting closer to 5,000 subscribers, and I know that will happen in a few days. So thank you so much for all the love you've shown this channel. That means a lot to us. Again, 118 people watching and 97 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. So Matt caught me. I didn't know he was going to say something about it. And we were... again, we were... I wasn't going to show it now, but accidentally, Matt saw it and he talked about it. So now it says Sevilla withdraws Koundé's number from the official store. That's a sign, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's coming to Chelsea. And this guy has like how many? 2,059 likes. It's going up actually even more, and 177 retweets and all that. Again, that's a sign that he's leaving the club. Again, this is serious stalking. Whoever caught this knows how to stalk very well. Matt, there's a chance he removed it because he's going to Barcelona. There's a chance he removed it because he's coming to Chelsea. I want to get your thoughts.
Barcelona are really just pissing me off. They're so annoying. How come they can sign these so many players? Why do they even need Koundé? They just signed Christina. Take your Christina, take Azpilicueta, take our finished players. We don't want them. Take them. Why are you gonna go for Koundé? Like, this is a player who wants to come to Chelsea, but unfortunately, I don't know if we're progressing it. Now, we just saw Lewandowski. Somehow Lewandowski is gonna go to Barcelona, and if you scroll up from this guy's tweet, he said that Lewandowski's official page liked the comments saying that he's going to join Barcelona. I don't know, some rubbish like that. But he needs to go to Barcelona, get Barcelona for all I care. Who cares? But how come they can keep signing these players left, right, and center? It's not fair because they're not doing it legitimately. Like, why isn't UEFA not coming and getting involved in this? They cannot sign Koundé. They cannot sign another player for 60 million when they spent 75 on Rafinha. They got Kessie, Christina for free, whatever, and then they're gonna go spend 40 million on Lewandowski. How in the world are they gonna have money for Koundé? It makes no sense. This guy needs to come to Chelsea and not to the club that's going to be liquidated in 2 seasons.
Yeah, but I think that's a good argument right there. I'm not sure how they're able to do that, but I think if you ask me, in my opinion, let me get Rodrigo's input now. And before we continue, I want to say, please, if you haven't, go check out Thai CFC's YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Rodrigo, your thoughts? Do you think this means he's coming to us or he's going to Barcelona? Because we heard he'd already agreed terms with Barcelona too.
Yeah, at the beginning of the summer window, I said my favorite centre backs are Koundé and Koulibaly. If we can close the deals on them too, that's gonna be amazing. But KK, and then if we can get the other K, we have the KKK.
Kimpembe.
And Kimpembe.
Well, that ain't the best name to have for centre backs.
It isn't the best acronym for represent.
That is the best acronym.
And all from African origin.
It turns into something else that we don't want to hear. But go ahead. And
the good thing, they're all from African origin, so that's good.
Yeah, it's good for the continent. But your thoughts? Where do you think he's going?
With Koundé, I think he's going to Barcelona. I'm just prepared. I'm prepared mentally now. I'm not gonna question anymore. Barcelona have already told us they're getting money from these economic levers. Whenever they want to do something, they always do these economic levers. So maybe that's where the money's coming from. So I think it's going there. I think what's gonna happen is Barcelona will send some players to Sevilla, and Koundé will go to Barcelona. If I give the Barcelona, I think more chance to happen in Chelsea.
Well, why did you say more chance for Barcelona than us?
Because Barcelona I think they're in a more advanced stage in negotiation for Koundé.
No. We're in advance. I think we're only off in terms of the price tag. But go ahead.
I feel like our interest cooled down after Cech and Marina left. I think this is more of a Barcelona move, and I think.
But the guy understands. Go ahead. When you're
Barcelona
done.
will offer Sevilla cash plus players, and Sevilla will accept it.
Here's the thing: the guy himself understands that Barcelona have financial issues. They're owing players salaries.
Do you think?
And I think Chelsea will pay him even more. That's the thing. And I'm hearing, we learned today, forgot the nonsense, we were reading in, that were out there, the rubbish that were out there a few days ago, where we learned, that we started hearing, he wasn't Thomas Tuchel's choice and all that, yada, yada, yada. And now I learned from True Blue yesterday, what time exactly, that he's actually Thomas Tuchel has always actually wanted them, even from PSG.
Mm-hmm.
You get that? But so I think he'd come to us. Understanding Barcelona's situation, I think he'd come to us. I'm serious about that. Except maybe, who was that? Have we seen him with a photo at the end during an NBA match with Ousmane Dembele? If that's the case, maybe Dembele will convince him to take a wage cut, and if he's stupid enough, to take less money and join Barcelona, that's his choice. I don't care.
A lot of players have been stupid enough to go to Barcelona, so. We can't use that. We can't use any logic anymore with players going there. It doesn't make sense to me why all these football players are going to Barcelona. So I'm not. So what I'm trying to tell the Chelsea fan is, don't be surprised if Koundé turns up at Barcelona.
I will not be.
Yeah,
I will not be. After the nonsense we're hearing, what's his name? Ousmane Dembele ended up taking 40% of pay cut.
Very stupid, Ousmane Dembele.
Yeah, to rejoin them. And then after playing it all smart at Chelsea, Andreas Christensen moved to the goalpost like 3 times. He allowed Barcelona to insert 430 plus million buyout clause on his contract, which means even if the club owe him 10 million years of salary, leaving would be very difficult.
Yeah, they'll just tell him, "Oh, someone has to meet your buyout clause for us to pay."
Yeah, exactly. So he practically enslaved himself to the club. That's so selfish on the part of Barcelona because all they care is about their future. They want to make sure these players are not going to leave that easy.
Yeah.
A player you got on a free, you owe that much money as the buyout clause. I just don't know what else to say. I'm short of words. But then again, a brilliant update there. I hope he comes to us. I hope it means he comes to us and not Barcelona. But that's, by the way, it's an international competition, a team that is the only way we can compete, externally. Yeah, we need competition. Again, look how confused England is with all those right backs. No, the person that is confused is the manager. If you really want to do that, the only person that's confused is Southgate. He has so many talents. He actually don't even know. I think he's a bit. You could argue he's been a bit sentimental in his selection. But we're not here to talk about England. Maybe when we launch the sister channel, which will launch in a few weeks, 3 weeks or so, and hopefully I'll be able to. There are some people I'd like really to have when that channel launches. I will try and reach out to my friend staff and see if they'd be interested to come back to help. No, to be part of that one because his knowledge of football is something else. Hello, everyone. Kronosdan says, "Letness is greatness." They say, yes, that's the truth. That's the truth. Again, so welcome, Kronosdan. Nice to see you. Big up Ty Talks again. Big up the coolest shares. If you haven't, go check out this channel. Feel free to share the link to your channel there so that people can go check it out. Again, subscribe and do let him know that I sent you. So again, nice to see you guys here. Kronistan, I like Harveyville should be given a chance in the Cups, I say, but people argue otherwise. Gnabry is signing a deal next week. Romano just tweeted, yeah, worried about that already. Big ups to you, Ty Tux, hope again, saying hi to everybody. Okay, let's just play a winger at wing back. If he gets injured, how did that work out for us last year? It just doesn't make it. Yeah, we were everywhere. We suffered quite a lot. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. And right now, I'm going to share the link to Matt's YouTube channel so you can go check it out. And be sure to subscribe and let him know. I sent to check a Chelsea Lonami tweet. Broya in a protective boot. Oh,
yeah, I saw that. I think it's precaution.
Doesn't sound good. Which means he is injured. Is that's what I'm understanding from that there. And thank you for that update, Lee Bell. So I'm going to skip to the very bottom. Apologies if I miss your comment. I just have to do that so that whatever I'm reading is aligned, will be aligned with whatever we're talking about. But right now, please take a second. Here's the link to Matt's YouTube channel. Link to Matt's channel. Please go subscribe immediately. Let him know I sent you. If you can go right now, I'd appreciate that. If you want to go check it out later, please do so. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. Again, we have 116 people watching. We have 107 likes. So thank you for all the likes. I sincerely do appreciate that. You guys are absolute legends. Now, Rodrigo, you haven't talked about Kimpembe, have you?
No.
Oh, so you go ahead. You shoot for it, bro. I want to get your thoughts on our pursuit of the guy.
I love Kimpembe. Do you know what I like? I think we need the crazy guy in our team.
Yes.
All our players are nice guys. Thiago Silva is very nice. Koulibaly, very aggressive, but is very calm. So we need that that guy that plays on the edge sometimes. And one thing I've noticed with Kimpembe is, in the Champions League, I remember a few years ago, he was making very rushed decision, getting sent off. But I watched the game last year against Madrid, PSG versus Madrid. He was very calm. He was very aggressive still, but he became calmer. He became more mature. He's an amazing ball progressor from the left. And if you want someone to replace Rudiger, someone who has the legs and can go up and down on the left hand side, Kimpembe is your man. Because I don't expect Koulibaly is very good at progressing as well, but I just don't. I expect Koulibaly to take over Thiago Silva position if we play in the back three, obviously in the middle of the back three. and have someone like Kimpembe on the left, because when you play, sometimes when we attack, one of the centre backs can become a left back, and obviously that demand a lot of running up and down. And obviously with Koulibaly being 31, yeah, I don't know if he's probably lost a yard of pace. So Kimpembe is an amazing. I don't know why some Chelsea fans are like looking down on this deal. For me, if I have a chance between him or Ake that we're linked to, and I'm glad Ake is staying at City. Kimpembe for me, he fit everything. He tick all the boxes. Good at progressive ball, aggressive, and his work with Tuchel. Actually, Tuchel's the one that he came through the ranks the season before, but Tuchel the one that actually trusted him and played him in more and more games. Now the question is, does he want to leave PSG? Maybe, maybe not. That's. But I think if he leaves PSG, the club that he would want to go to, that's what I heard, is Chelsea, because Juve are also looking at him as a replacement for De Ligt. But I think he would prefer to come to Chelsea. And if he comes here, trust me, we have a solid defender.
Let me ask
He'll
you
only,
something.
he'll only join Chelsea. He's not gonna.
Yeah.
He's not gonna join Juventus. But the fans who don't want him are the same fans who watch netball, who watch Christensen. They want these weak players who cry. But come on, we need someone who can go in as a warrior, who can put their body on the line. That's what Kimpembe does. Exactly. We've seen the video where he was limping and he still bet a 4v1. That's what a proper defender is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think. Let me ask you this: a counter question for you, Rodrigo. Kimpembe coming in, I wouldn't. Again, I don't think if I'd be correct to say create another problem, or maybe create another situation. I think he will be better phrased like that. Broadens the question mark over the future of Colwill. So how do we solve that problem?
How do we solve that problem? Colwill.
What does everything lead to?
Yeah, I want to know. Yeah, because if we're getting Kimpembe,
yeah.
Okay, Nathan Ake. Okay, Nathan Ake is out of that question now, so it's not much of a problem anyway. I think, yeah, if Ake is out of the picture, then Colwill still has a chance. I think that's the case.
Then Colwill is his understudy. I mean, Kimpembe is not going to play every single Chelsea game, no. And Colwill will have his chance. So
it's Sarr on the left. So Sarr and Cole will have to compete now in pre-season. Whoever's the best one should be.
Yeah, who's the best one between them two will stay and become the obviously number one left centre back until we sign Kimpembe. So that's the case. I think Colwill, he just have to play. I don't know if he's gonna start on Saturday or in the coming pre-season games. I want to evaluate him as well. I've watched few of Huddersfield game. I'm not gonna pretend here. I've watched a lot of. I've watched the playoff and some of the games in the championship. He's a good player, but obviously now he has to show that he's better than Malang Sarr. And I think he's on eye test. He's better than Malang Sarr. He scores about 62% on eye test.
Again, I know Matt thinks otherwise because I heard him a few minutes ago talk about how can you prove how that he's better than Malang Sarr. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. Yeah, Matt, go ahead if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'll just quickly say again that, as I said, Sarr and Cole will have to compete for the left centre backup position rotational situation. So at the moment, I would say Sarr because I don't want to rush Colwill. Is Sarr the worst defender? No, he's not the worst. He's average. He had some bad games, but he also had some good games. Like people were forgetting the Tottenham game and all those other games. So he's not the best defender. He's nothing to progress. He's just a rotational player until Colwill was ready. If Colwill was ready, then we bring him in. But Colwill hasn't shown anything to prove that he's ready. That's been my whole point. Colwill has not proved anything to be ready this season.
You could argue that some people tell you how rough, how difficult it is to do well in the Champions League. Again, I just want to quickly talk about things that made me sad, really. I wanted Levi Colwill to make it to the Premier League with Huddersfield. Again, at the end of the day, you could argue the officials were so poor in that game. I don't think they deserve to lose that game. because had they made it to the Premier League, it would have been easy to convince him to say, okay, you've done it in the Championship and you helped lead your team to the Premier League. You stay with them one more season. I think he'd be willing to do it because he's still high and confident and he still has that bond with that team that made it to the Premier League. But unfortunately, what happened. Again, that's by the way. Let me try and catch up with the chat again. Thank you again. Make sure I shared the link to Matt's YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe to his channel and let him know I sent you. He's at 394 subscribers. Again, just 2 more to get to 400. But let's get him beyond that right now and further. Let's get him, help him reach 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Again, says check. Yeah, I've checked that, and thank you very much, Levi. I haven't seen you in a while. I want to ask. I hope you've been well. Also, again, I've checked it, and you saw me pull it up on the screen there. Thank you for that update. I don't want. Can you elaborate, Verna? Iswara, I want to know why. Please let us know. Kronosdan says we missed out on Ake. Now it's triggered us getting Kunde. Do you think that's the case? No, I don't think that's the case. I think maybe. To me, I'm just saying maybe that's how Todd Boehly operates. He makes you seem like he's not interested, and then he comes back and gets the player. I hope we get Kunde. I'll be very, very happy because we have only the players that can naturally, of all the players we have now, naturally fulfill that role, that right center back role. It's Chalobah. It's in Reece James's best position. I know we've played him there on occasion. But when we did that, he isn't actually in his best, if you ask me. Again, I don't want to read about this brother here on the screen, but again, it's part of the scrolling messages. Kunde and Kimpembe will be good for me. I think they both will be. Kunde and Kimpembe, let's go. Let's get them both if we can. Barca cannot even afford a packet of rice or something dodgy is going. Nothing dodgy is going on. It's simple. I used to reason that way too until I paid attention really to what I think it's True Blue who's been clamoring that every time. Again, first of all, Barca is he's they're a big entity. They're a big club. They have a rich history. There are no shortage of people willing to come and buy their assets from them. They're selling TV rights. They sold just 10% for nearly 300 million plus. I don't know the exact number, but it's in the hundreds of millions. That shows you how big of a club they are. Are they in debt? Yeah, they are in debt, but there's a difference between being in debt and being broke. I don't know how many times I'm going to talk this. They're not broke, but right now they're just spending wisely so that they don't get so much into debt also. So, but that's, by the way, again, here it says Chelsea haven't made an official bid for Kunde this summer. We'll follow the story as it happens, but we'll see what happens. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, please take a second to like the video. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes by the end of the show. We're at 115 likes right now, and I'm going to say this again. I don't. You don't have to donate your hard-earned cash to the channel. Again, all I ask of you is just keep supporting the channel like you're doing. You watching the video, you liking the videos, you also sharing the videos. Those things do go a long way So thank you. I appreciate that so much. Says Blue Blood says the official store removed Kunde's shirt and number to stop J5 signing it. Yep, I think I saw what's his name. I saw True Blue say something similar to there. Says Sevilla removed Kunde's shirt so yep, I read that too. Again, thank you for all these brilliant comments. Koulibaly, Kunde, Kimpembe, Thiago Silva, Chalobah. Again, if you have a question and you're in the chat, please shoot your question so that we can address it. Otherwise, in a few minutes, we'll call it a day. If we don't have much to talk about, Kunde's injury, how is it? I think it'd be fine. We knew then that it wasn't a serious injury. So yeah, big up everyone. Now, Tuchel has said he really likes Lewandowski. So we think Boehly would try to get him, and you're hearing that he's nearing a move to Barcelona because they've, both parties, both clubs, Barcelona and what's the name again, and Bayern Munich, they're at the point of coming to an agreement. So let that sink in. We already had our personal terms agreed with Kunde during Marina's time, and again, and it looks like we did talk with him as this window opened. Here's the thing about again, 270 million. 6th Street, 50 million Okay, and shirt deals plus stadium naming rights, selling the young Dest NATO etc depth some as yeah as in during the Roman era. That's this. I think that's True Blue explaining.
Yeah, just coach. I want to add one thing. Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
What Barcelona are doing is fine, but I think what a lot of people have issues is how they spend the money the raise instead of clearing the debt. They sort of like piling on more debt with the debt that the if you know what I mean. So they're selling the TV right instead of using the money to reduce some of their outstanding debt. What they're doing is they want to invest that in the transfer in buying more players. To me, it doesn't make business sense, but obviously it's it's Barcelona. They feel like maybe if they keep the team competitive, actually, yeah, I can see why. Maybe keep the team competitive, they can always raise more revenue. So I guess
Mhm.
that's probably the logic. But I would have thought, as a prudent businessman, I would have thought you pay off one of the debt, so then you don't always have to sell off your assets to raise more cash. Yeah, well,
Yep. Again, I'll keep going through the chat, and if you see and if I see anything, I think we should address. We will address it again. Here, I think I've read this. He's trying to explain how they're able to make money. Kachula, good morning. Good morning to you, MC. Raz 3D, at least nice to see you, brother. Kunde is overrated. Please, getting him will be a big mistake. I don't agree with that. I don't think Kunde is overrated. I think he's a fine player. Mo says Kunde wants Barcelona, so he will end up at Barcelona like Rafinha. Is that really the case?
you want.
Can you verify that? Where did you get that from? Anybody on the panel wanted to come in?
I think he does. I think he won Barcelona and Chelsea. There's no.
How did you come up with
I've
that?
seen.
Let me know,
I've
Rodrigo.
seen. Maybe because I hang around with a lot of Barcelona people, but that's what they've been telling me.
That's why you hear too much about he wants Barcelona. And come to Chelsea fan,
Who
they
is
tell
it?
you he wants Chelsea too,
Kunde.
that he was in London.
I think Tuchel. I think Conte wants Chelsea, but I think Barcelona they're the ones who are offering him, and he just wants out of Sevilla. To be honest,
Yeah.
let's be honest, he just wants out of Sevilla. I
Yeah,
don't think he cares where he
there
goes.
you go. That I can believe. That he just wants out of Sevilla, and maybe Barcelona seem to be the more serious, club coming for him. But right now, as we're going back for him, we may well pay Sevilla more money and then take him. But go ahead.
I think I'll just quickly go on Lewandowski as well. That I wouldn't take him at Chelsea. I don't think he's coming here to win anything. I think he's won it all already. Just me personally, but on Kunde, yeah, as I said, Kunde will go wherever pretty much a club signs him. He just wants out of Sevilla. He doesn't like Sevilla. So if we put the bid in, we'll get him. Like I don't know the situation. It's given two sides at the moment. Is it that have we put the bid in and now we need Sevilla to accept, or have we even put a bid in yet? A bid in yet? So I don't even know.
I think that deal depend also on Aspi. I think as soon as
Yes,
Aspi goes, we will sign Kunde. What's holding us up
I think
is
Tuchel waiting for outings to bring in, and
Yeah,
then I think he's
Barcelona.
waiting for people to leave. Then he's gonna bring in players.
Yeah, Barcelona need to act up now because they said they're interested in Aspi and the bid is imminent. So it's on their side now. Do you want Aspi or not? If you want him, pay us the money. We only asking for what, £3 or £5 million ahead. So if Barcelona pay the money, I think hearing what Tuchel was saying, we're more than happy to let Aspi go. So once he goes, we don't have any right-sided centre back. That's when we will. Or actually, we could sign Kunde, and that will facilitate Aspi movement to Barcelona. Maybe we've told Aspi we need to get a replacement for you first before we let you go. And
Yep,
if
and we'll
yeah,
tell Barca, and then if Kunde is a preferred replacement rather than 8 million clause,
no,
well,
no, I see Aspi as a. Sorry, I see Aspi as a right side centre back. So he's Aspi and Chaloba. So if we lose Aspi, Kunde and Chaloba will play on that. Yeah, because Jonathan Klaus is more Rhys James.
right wing back.
Yeah, it's more Rhys James rather than Aspi.
Yeah, but that's a chance in this deal. We may well just use that to throw off Barca. Okay, that the replacement we want is Kunde. It's a big, we don't know again. I'm gonna move ahead from that. It says Christensen, Casey, and Rafinha are not even registered yet. So what's going on? How do they plan to sort this out? I don't know. I don't know if this is a joke. If it's a joke, it's hilarious, and it's actually believable given how the whole thing has gone so far. It says Rafinha's presentation is delayed due to a missing signature from Leeds. But I think, I'm sorry, but I think Rafinha himself, I think he wouldn't care. After all, he's taking a photo with Barcelona's shirt, leaning to a door, a selfie, you could say. He shared on social media. Go ahead.
Look at the comment. He's going Chelsea. The Chelsea fan is still having hope.
Yeah, this is. I think this is just hilarious. No, he's not. It's just a poor club. Again, they're not poor. I mean, they may well find. I don't know why they're not being able to register players, but that's by the way you get. It's just funny. That's why I wanted to share it. I says every. Yeah, go ahead, Rodrigo. You were saying something.
Leeds are signing in installments, so they sign a paper at a time. So you pay us the first tranche of the payment, we sign one paper. After a year, you pay the other, we sign the other paper.
Yeah. 9K Mary says it's okay. We are on the ends. I know, and I am sure whatever CD we get, Tuchel will make him look better. Who thought Rudiger was a good CB before Tuchel? No one. Again, he was actually at one point we thought he was on his way out of the gates of Stamford Bridge, but we saw what happened. The reason we got investigated was for a completely different reason. Chelsea? What point?
I think it's about the transfer ban.
Case? I don't know what you're referring to.
Let me know. Under Mr. Frank.
Who?
I think it was under Mr. Frank. The transfer ban.
Investigated on the Frank Lampard. I think the only time.
The transfer ban. I mean, it was 2019, but Frank was there.
I heard we were investigated was the case of, I think it was a Jeremy Bogus case or something like that. We signed him.
No, the transfer ban.
Was it Traore? I think Traore. Yes, Traore. Yep. We had an issue then. And it wasn't any serious investigation. I just don't remember how the whole thing went down then. How realistic is Koundé to Chelsea now that we have revived our interest? You could say 50-50. If indeed he prefers to join Barca, or maybe he feels like a Barca were more serious than we were, became more. It's up to him, but we'll see what happens. Did I hear that guy say Edouard Mendy is horrible? He has the right to present his argument. Who is that guy talking, please?
It's about me, but I never said Edouard Mendy is a bad footballer.
He didn't say horrible. Again, I know where he's going to, and I have my arguments too. I would never say Mendy is horrible. That was a time a lot was going on that we thought he should have dropped to the bench to make him realize he has competition. But some people argued otherwise, and I get the point. Again, here it says, here we go for who Adi Putra. Let us know. Don't forget to go check out Matt's YouTube channel. I think this is the link I shared there. I don't know why I didn't pin it, but you will find it in the comment section. Again, it's called Zvoy. I'll try to add it to the chat in a bit. Talking to Daniel Crane there. Let's see if there's anything else to catch up with here. It says the need to lose 160. They need to lose 160 million in wages. Okay, they need to lose 160 million in wages to be able to register players. I read somewhere. Again, the whole thing has turned into a serious issue. We're hearing that they're trying to force De Jong out of the club, and De Jong wants to stay because they owe him. I'm not sure if that's really the case. Anybody on the panel want to come in?
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah, they owe him money, and he doesn't want to leave. If I'm De Jong, I'm not gonna leave. Pay me my money before I go. So yeah.
But to Barca, I think the bill, the wage that they owing him will be
subsidized by Man United.
Yeah, exactly. It will be factored into his transfer fee.
But I think Barca also need the money from the transfer fee, so that's why they're trying to fleece as much money out United as they can. But obviously, United have caught up on that, and they don't want to pay over the odd.
So what we're seeing on the screen here, they're practically telling us that we don't have a chance signing Lewandowski. We've been informed that his move to Barcelona is on the final stage. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's basically now the question is how desperate are United, and how desperate are Barcelona to get rid of De Jong. Because if I'm De Jong, he's in a position where he's in a position where he owns Barcelona. Actually, he refused to go. Barcelona in serious trouble because they can't register players.
Here's the hilarious thing. He wants his money, but you know what he's saying? What his agent is saying? He loves Barcelona. He wants to stay at Barcelona.
That's the thing. What does this guy want? If he stays, Barcelona don't need to pay him 20 million. I'm telling you, they've hypnotized him or something. Same with them. Same with Rafinha. Why are these players staying?
I don't think De Jong lost Barcelona that much to stay. They owe him millions in salary.
But you would rather stay with Barcelona than go to United. You would
tell
rather
them, if
stay
you
at
want me to
Barcelona than
leave,
go to
pay
United.
me. That's a very polite way of saying, if you want me to go, just pay me what you owe me first.
Yeah,
something
but he would
similar.
rather stay than go to
Yeah.
Manchester United, though. He would rather stay and not get 20 million than go to Manchester United. This guy does not want to go to Manchester United. He would rather stay and lose 20 million.
And no. That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make sense. It's just a polite way of telling Barca, yeah, I know you want to get rid of me, but pay me what you owe me to be guaranteed. Even though we're hearing that what they owe him will be factored into his transfer fee. Again, I don't know how how truthful that is, but again, it's believable because it makes sense. But here's something I hear that I like. It's the fact that he doesn't want to join United. He'd rather come to Chelsea Football Club. So let's bring in IBZ, who just joined us. It looks like it's been a busy day for us. Are you just joining us? But they say lateness is greatness. Well, I think we still have a bit of time before we go. Again, we have 146 people watching, and we have 121 likes. Let's try and see if we can get it to 200 likes by the time the show ends. So thank you for all the support. So IBZ, your thoughts on the Young situation?
Hello. How's everyone?
Hi to you too, brother. Again, pardon my bad manners.
No, it's all right. Hasn't he agreed to go in that United situation?
No, he hasn't.
No,
he hasn't,
but
really.
Is that not like a United signing? Like they want to put through, like, and I don't know what is this something that we are looking at, and I don't want to spend over the odds for him because it's looking like if we do get him, we'll spend over the odds. He don't want to leave them, and they're owing him money. So he's like, no, I'm not going to leave because if he leaves and they owe him money, they can easily, obviously, you can still take him to court and what have you because that's in his contract. But I don't know, man. It's a bit of a funny one, but I will take Dion. You know what I mean? But like, can we get him? It's gonna seem so long, and I you know what? Yeah, I don't want to be doing transfer sagas. You know, I'm so sorry, but I don't think players are worth us as fans. Yeah, consuming our mindset as to are they gonna sign or are they gonna sign? You know, like players like a transfer saga. They like all the hype around them sometimes, and sometimes when it has too much hype, I'm just like, you know what, mate, just do one. You know what I mean? Like with this De Jong deal, yeah, this should have been done. Even if it's not to us, he should have been at United by now because they've had interest for the longest. So for it to be halted, it just seems there's too much baggage around that Barcelona. And Barcelona's a team I don't want to do business with this transfer. Like, how dare you spend X amount of money on different players, but you still owe another man 17 million? You know what I mean? It's like, what ethics do you guys have? Like, are you not embarrassed? Like, I don't want to be on the same transfer pulling with them. You know, they can, I don't know, like, they're very distasteful at this moment. So anything coming out of Barcelona seems like it would just be a toxic. You know what I mean? It just seems toxic, and I don't know. It's just rubbing them off the wrong way. Not the fact that obviously they stole Rafinha or that Rafinha. No, not that. That's nothing to do with it. But just like you owe a man 17 million euros in wages. So how will you be able? Is it ethical enough to start signing players left, right, and centre when you owe a man 70 million? And if he is owed 70 million, why don't you just give him his money and go and let him go? But it just seems to be a lot of, oh, Laporte said this, he's not going anywhere. Then De Jong says, oh, he's not going. It's like, you know what? I don't even want that baggage. Just una keep it. And I give United the baggage. Me them comprehend it. Because me, I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's all of that. I don't. Because right now it's pre-season. We're the crucial stage of pre-season. We're in the middle of pre-season. We've got, let's say, 2-3 weeks before season starts. I'm not here to have the media circus about, oh, someone coming. No. The target, you see how we've done it with Raheem Sterling, Koulibaly, continue like that with other targets, you know? So, thanks, but no thanks. That's my own with Guillaume. Thank you, but no thank you. I still got Connor, Billy, Jorginho, Kai, Mateo Kovacic, N'Golo, Mason Mount. Go. I beg. United need you more than I do. So, yeah, that's my own on Frankie.
Yeah, I've also, thank you very much for that. It's explosive input indeed. Again, I've also heard that Tottenham are interested in getting Kunde. I doubt he'd join them. Matt, your thoughts on the Young story?
Yeah, it's the same point IBZ said. Like, if Barcelona really loved him, they wouldn't go and spend money on a Rafinha and Lewandowski. Like, that's just disrespectful. Like, yeah, exactly. He should be out the door immediately. Like, that's what I've always said. I don't understand the situation. Why these players and why Barcelona still hold. I mean, why these players still want to stay at Barcelona? Like, they could do what they did to De Jong to pretty much nearly anyone. So why would they continue to stay? Why would they
They're
continue to
all
go
PK.
there? What?
They owe PK. PK. They owe
Yeah,
him a lot of
they
money
owe
too.
everyone. They owe everyone. They own their second Neto. Like, it's like, I don't know. Why would they continue? And it makes no sense. Going to De Jong needs to leave instantly. It's like being with a toxic girlfriend, why are you still there? Just get the hell out of there, He has other options. Just go there. Why is he staying? I'm just confused, man. I'm so confused. Get out of that club. That's what I'm telling you. Why players continuing to go there? If you want to go to Barcelona, you go there. I don't care, man. I don't care. And as Ibe said, we're getting in pre-season like this things with players. It's like no brainer. Like, it's a no. Like, why are we arguing? Should De Jong leave Barcelona? Of course he should leave Barcelona, but why isn't he? That's the question, man.
Yeah. Again, if you're in the chat and you have any questions for the panel, please shoot it. We will try to address it. Except if we see any new development, we will talk about it. But right now, I'll concentrate on the chat and I'll wait. If you have any questions that land to what we're talking about, that's fine. We will try to address this. Kunde wants out. Barca wants him, not the other way around. He wouldn't be part of Barca. I don't think, though. I don't think that's my brother Moshi Isabete from the Madiba land. Nice to see you here. Thank you, brother. Kunde will join Barca if we don't hustle for him again. But what if we have more money for him? Here we go again. Barcelona have to move players out of squad. Traore gone, Dest, PK, Neto. As they leave, then they add the signings again. That makes it so they'd be able to to bring in players before they register, to send out players, move out players before they register new players. But here's the thing. I think the Young understand they want him out. I think he's using it to maybe to get his money back, to be guaranteed again. But I hope we get him. Adam says cannot see Kunde coming to Chelsea now, being going for many months. Looks like Barca are in driving seat. They both done business with Rakitic, Keita, Dani Alvarez, and Adriano before too. Again, those factors matter. But the truth is, if we give them more money that look towards our direction, it's that simple. And the player wants to come to us. We've heard that before, and I still believe he wants us to come to Chelsea. Now we have 148 people watching, and we have 129 likes. Let's try and shoot for 200 by the end of the show. I know we can do that, but again, thank you for 129 likes. That's not easy. I sincerely do appreciate that. Chronostan says, I hope the Young stays, to be honest, to create them more problems. And I know that's what you're saying. Game so nice to see you again. I think it's too late for Kunde. Vaca will hijack it. We should have, we should take Kimpembe. You think so? But we'll see happen. I'm still hopeful. Hello, everyone. Again, Kimso, hello to you too. We were investigated by FIFA for registering foreign youth, i.e. Traore, and I think, Rodrigo mentioned that who left home to go to UK. It's only allowed if parents move to a country to leave. FFP, it's a UEFA thing. Okay, thank you very much for that, educating us on that, and I appreciate that. Barca are frauds. Again, I'm not going to read you calling them name. They're so arrogant. I want Chelsea to put 8-2 against them. We'll see what happens. Again, Rafinha is a Barca player. They've signed it. It's official. You're seeing that on the screen yourself. he's all smiles. Like he just achieved what he's always looked to achieve in all his life. Again, I wouldn't blame him. I say Barca approach again. I've read that before. Again, Frankie De Jong has had an agreement to Manchester United, but it steps back because Barcelona wanted them to pay the 17 million wages of so United don't want to pay it. That may well be the case. So now he's going to tell them, just pay me my money before we talk further. It just doesn't make sense why people or players still want to join them. But why are people? Why are people? Barca is back. You may well. I don't know. Breaking news: Barcelona officially signed Rafinha on Sky News front. I think we saw that on the screen too. Has he had his medical? I don't know. Probably he did. I don't know if he has or if he hasn't. Again, I don't know. Again, if you're in the chat and you have any questions, shoot. While we wait to see if we see any question to address in the chat, IBC, I'm going to come to you. Your thoughts on our pursuit of. Go ahead, Matt. You wanted to say something?
No, sorry. What was it that True Blue said? Who's had the medical?
He's asking if has he had his medical. I think he's asking if Rafinha has had his medical.
Medical or not, he's right there in Barcelona. He was there Barcelona yesterday.
He had
a Barcelona. He was in the airport yesterday. He's been unveiled today. If he don't have his medical today, he'll have it tomorrow. He'll probably have it in the weekend. He'll have it. He's a Barcelona player. We're not getting him. He's Barcelona. He's there, bro. He is now with them. That saga is over. What Jesse Marsh said, I think what his manager said, was very, very that's balance in it. And they just wish him the best, and they really want that Barcelona deal to go through because of his commitment to help Leeds United stay up. They realize his ambitions more than ever. So I think that was written in the stars, innit? Like we all concluded 3 months ago or so in January, there were already an offer on the table. So that was already written in the stars, and we thank God for that. What was you asking me for my?
I was going to ask you quickly why we wait to see if we get questions in the chat. Your thoughts on also reviving interest in Jules Koundé?
Yeah, we've missed out on. Okay. Whilst we are tolerant to the efforts.
I think we lost him. Yep, I think IBC has a poor connection. Again, I'm going to try to wait when he comes back. He can go ahead. Triply, can you let us know why you're asking that question? I really do want to know. Koulibaly, Kimpembe, Koundé, this back three would be scary. I hope so. Good luck penetrating. Has Koulibaly has he flown out to LA yet to join the squad? I think he has. Matt, do you have any information on that?
Yeah, he's flying out today.
Okay. While we wait for them, Matt, I want to get. Do you have any update for us? Because we still have about 15 minutes to round up the show.
Nothing new. It's the same old. Just now, Barcelona are looking like they've signed Lewandowski, pretty much. Personal terms agreed.
Yeah, it's getting close, and we're saying we're learning that they have informed us. Us and PSG, I think we were interested. As I'm hearing that they've informed us that he's getting closer to joining Barcelona. It's the Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain are informed on Robert Lewandowski's situation. They've been told that his move to Barcelona is at the final stage. Never been any chance. He only wanted Barcelona. So people just cooked up stuff saying he's open to joining Chelsea if he's moved to Barcelona. No, he's open to joining Barcelona or Chelsea. Lewandowski agreed personal terms with Barcelona 4 months ago on a 3-year deal. Again, so we get that. IBC, you're back. Go ahead with what you were saying. Looks like you had a connection issue or so.
Give me
IBC, sorry, I haven't added you. Yeah, go ahead.
Give me 5 minutes, please. Just give me 5 minutes. I won't be long.
All right, no problem. We'll wait for you when you join back. We'll continue. If you're in the chat, if you have any question or Matt, if there's anything you want us to talk about, you go ahead. While we wait for him. I'll
just add that Lewandowski is probably best that we don't go for Lewandowski. I think I wouldn't go for someone who's already kind of looking for his last contract. I think he goes to Barcelona. Mark my words, he will flop at Barcelona. He's just going to be standing in the striker position, tapping in goals and being a tapping merchant. He hasn't scored a goal from outside the box. We need someone who can create and score. You know, I don't want to let him bust. He comes in, just steps in,
I
goes.
agree with you, and
So,
that begs the
off the
question.
bus.
Go ahead. What I was going to
Go on.
say, go ahead if you were still saying something.
No,
Sorry.
go.
What I was going to say, the argument we had here was that I argued he's one of the best in the whole world, but him coming to us doesn't make sense. Because we have a problem up front. We're so freaking selfish up in the final third. If that isn't the case, we'd score more goals than we scored from this past 3 seasons. Actually, like I've argued, we defend as a unit, but when it gets to the final third, everybody wants to be the goal scorer or the hero. So even Robert Lewandowski himself would have struggled a bit at Chelsea. I want to get your thoughts on that argument, Matt.
Yeah, he would have struggled. Like, as I said, he's coming in a harder league where you need to put more effort. If he wants to win a Ballon d'Or, he would have stayed at Bayern Munich. But obviously, I think he's given up on that. So his main aim is to get a last contract.
Or maybe he feels the Barca is more likely to win it at Barca than Bayern.
But I mean, he must have the weirdest mentality, because if you're going to look at every single team, Bayern probably have a stronger team than us in terms on paper, you know. So, and he's been at Bayern for 9 years, however long he's been there. So why would he believe that? It's like, again, he's going for a last contract for a holiday. I don't think he wanted to come to London for a holiday. Every player wants to go to Barcelona or France or Paris for their last contract. So he would go, and as I said, he would sit up front. He would tap in goals. He's not going to be putting in as much effort as he would in the Bundesliga. He's not going to come and he's not going to improve himself. He's going to do what he's always going to do. He's going to do even worse because he's here for a holiday. It's like, Chelsea's not a holiday. We're not a retirement home. We sell our retirements to Barcelona and all that. So off to Barcelona. Great business for Barcelona if they can. I don't know how they're going to afford it, if they're going to pay the installments 6 years later. But that's their problem. They can sign another player for and that's good. We focus on what players that we need to fit our system.
Yep. ADIT says, I think we pulled out of Ake deal to just sign Kimpembe and use Colwill. Maybe Tuchel wanted to look for RSP replacement as at the right RB position. That may well be the case if that's the case, but I don't think that's what it is. I think just the price is actually just the issue. Again, Truly holding the shirt, mate. So yeah, okay, go watch, guys. I want to ask this one. I think I liked this. I want to ask again about Scamacca. Matt, how well do you know him?
Who?
Why aren't we looking at him? Or maybe we're looking at him, but we just don't know.
Who is it?
Scamacca.
I have no clue. No clue.
Let me just see the name so you look at it. If you're in the chat, let us know what you think about the Scamacca. I think it's a
your
fine
Twitter's
player.
frozen.
Let me just check out the dash screen while that loads. I think, what club does he play at? I think it was Bobby that first talked about him here. And again, I was a bit reluctant because what I watched is just his videos, a few of his videos. Because the videos on YouTube only show you where the players are doing so well. It doesn't show you everything you need to know about the player, his deficiencies and all that. All you see is, just good stuff about the player in question, and not how they make mistake or another. But look at it. If you're in the chat, let us know what you think about Scamacca. Here we'll learn.
Oh, Scamacca from Salesio. Yeah. I know Scamacca. I mean, I know, but I've never watched him play. I would have no idea how he fits that position. But again, he's a guy who's like 23, 24. I think he scored 20 goals, 15 goals last season. Again, if we sell Broja, maybe, but there's no need for us to go for someone like him. We've got Broja at home, but that's something to discuss if Broja leaves. But at the moment, I would not go for him because we already have that profile as a Broja.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it wouldn't make sense to go for him while we still have Amanda Broja at the club. Again, a True Blue holding the shirt. I made okay, go watch Sky Sports. Here says Loftus-Cheek as a right wing back should be considered. Not really a right wing back. I think the application.
I'm so sorry, Coach. I just kept getting a lot of calls. I'm back now, though. I'm back.
Yeah, no problem. I think him playing there isn't really his primary responsibility. Isn't really to defend, but it exposed us. It exposed us against Madrid. I think when he was on that side, I think he played he exposed us, but going forward, he was brilliant. Again, he played, was it against Norwich? You see, I forgot the club. He was brilliant,
It
but
took him
he
Loftus
exposed
Club's
us because
cheeks.
defensively, he's poor. Go ahead, Matt. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, Loftus Cheek is finished, man. Loftus Cheek is finished. Get him out of this club immediately. This guy isn't the guy who was under Sarri. Send him to Lazio. He will do well at Lazio. This guy cannot play right wing back. Like I said, he was part of the fault for that Kante goal because he tried to press. So Kante had to do a last minute chip, which obviously he's not Messi. He's not gonna get that over that quickly. So I think Loftus Cheek cannot play in our system. He can't play in double pivot. He can't play as a right wing back. He can only play as an 8. Hence, we go to an 8. We've already got Mount, Kovacic, and Gallagher there, so he'll be the fourth option. Which, if he wants to,
Again,
he can stay there for all I care.
Playing, go ahead.
But he can stay as the fourth position. I don't care by that. But his best position would be to go to Lazio. That would be his best position.
Yeah. Again, if you're talking about him playing in the right wing back position, you have to look at the application. Again, because when he plays there, especially against Real Madrid, we were exposed because he's not the best defensively. And I think he started there, but on twice, I've seen him start there twice. But again, I want him to play as a number 8, which is his traditional position. That is his preferred position, a position where you could argue it's his speciality. Where if you play him there, we saw him play in that position. I think not really a number 8 on the Sarri, but he played further forward. He played closer to the final third under Mauricio Sarri, and he did quite well. But he hasn't gotten the chance to do so on the Thomas Tuchel. But that's, by the way, Kuchila stayed. We're talking about Kunde and Kimpembe. Lewa, why don't we talk about Rafael Leao from AC Milan that we're trying to sign? Are we really trying to sign him? I think we've talked about him. You probably haven't joined when we talked about him. Rumors are that he'll probably extend his stay there. And we've also heard he prefers a move to League R, but we don't know. Is he a player I'd like the club to sign? Yes, we've talked about him. We learned that PSG had actually put in a bid already of 60 million euros, and AC Milan rejected it. And currently they have 140 million as his buyout clause, and they want him to extend. They want to pay him 1 point something yearly, and Jorge Mendes is asking for 4+. If we can pay him like 5, 6, I think he'd come to us. But the question remains, I think AC Milan, I don't think he'd go for 140 million. No, I think clubs will be able to negotiate a lesser fee. That's just the simple truth, because he has just 2 years left on his contract, and after this year, just 1, and then the lesser fee they'd be able to get for him. Again, that we've talked about him. Don't want us strikers. I get that argument. Where will Gallagher play in a 3-4-3? I think one of the front threes, I think on the right hand side or on the left hand side, I think he should be able to play there. Where I'm not sure how well he'd do if you play him as one of the 8s. That's where I'm not sure how well he'd do in terms of creating chances and scoring goals. But again, whatever happens, I think he'd get us goals. And I keep that. It says, I can see Broha to West Ham United as Kamaka to Chelsea. You see that? If that happens, I'd take it. But I'd really want to, I'd prefer us keeping our own, which is Armando Broja, who's Chelsea through and through.
You know what I mean?
Play as our CDM next season. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen. If we're looking at any CDM at this point, I really do not know. Leao is the Portuguese Rashford. No, I'm.
He's not even Portuguese.
Sorry?
Leao's not Portuguese.
He's
Brazilian, no?
Rafael Leao.
Nah,
he
he's
represents
Portuguese,
Portugal.
isn't he?
Maybe let's just phrase it like that.
I thought he was Portuguese.
Rafael Leao.
Yeah,
because he's Nunes' agent, and Nunes is Portuguese.
Let me check again. Now you're making
Rafael Leao.
Yeah,
you're making me rethink my insanity.
No, it is. I just checked. I just checked.
I have to be
Yeah, I
honest.
double checked as well. I was like, oh, hang on, no.
He's Portuguese.
You're making me
Yeah.
Portuguese football. I'm not even done typing. Maybe
Nah. This is. Hold on. Give us.
Okay, True Blue. Let me know which one do you want me to read. Okay, at MC Raj, I was joking after you argued with me that Stalin was having his medical on Thursday. Okay. Oh, thank you. Now you explained. Okay. Now, thank you. I understand. You were talking about Sterling, but because we weren't part of the conversation in the chat, we thought you were talking about Rafinha. So thank you. I appreciate that. So have you seen it now, IBZ? Again, his Portuguese. Maybe you read somewhere that he's of Brazilian descent or something. I don't know. But he's
Yeah,
Portuguese.
I think that's what it was.
I started questioning myself. Maybe I'm going nuts, and I don't need you to tell me anything. Okay, I see that. I cannot remember where, but I heard that Leao is signing a new deal with AC Milan with a reduced release clause of 80 to 100 million. I don't know, but would that make sense for AC Milan? I don't think so. That's why I'm questioning that comment there. We are buying defenders, and why are we not focusing on strikers? Well, since the
Because
departure of
the
Lukaku,
defenders are main area of concern, like Thomas Tuchel said yesterday
Simple
when he was
answer.
addressed by Sky Sports.
Yeah.
Are we not listening to the boss?
Yeah. You know, I think the defensive area should be our priority again. And we're doing that now. And again, people are asking, and then Akoto, my brother, is asking, why are we looking at defenders? Let's not be that confused. Again, Loftus-Cheek, I think he's on his day. He's a very fine player. What about Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah.
You asked me to explain. Yeah, I've read it. Thank you for explaining. Leao is not for sale. I am a Milan fan, and Leao is our star, and he remains here. What if we show you the money? What do you think? Let me know. I want to know. So pay 150 million or forget it. So, you actually agree. Money talks. So IBZ, come in with your thoughts, because we have a few minutes to round up before we round up.
I thought that was my bad for the Leao. Why did I think he was Brazilian? But yeah, what I was saying before I got cut off earlier about Boehly, yeah. Obviously, we love it. We love the situation we find ourselves in. But you see, listening out on deals like Ake, yeah, just shows that obviously you needed someone in charge in that to negotiate that further. Because how are we not meeting an evaluation for a player that we had from Man City? How does that make sense? How do you not meet evaluation for Nathan Ake? So obviously they'll be staying. So I believe if we had people in place, I believe that would have been ironed out and/or probably been sealed. So that's just obviously a bit of an annoyance, or this is where my annoyance came in when you sat Peter and Marina, and obviously, you know, closing in on deals like this should be easy. You shouldn't be able to have a problem with securing Ake, you know, but it is what it is. Moving on, I'm happy with what we have. Listening to Thomas yesterday, obviously, someone that they've looked extensively in Sterling, that was done, and he's happy about that. I think we're all happy about that because he adds more of a quality and improves our attack. But obviously, defense was the main area of concern, and I quote what Boss said: "Like everyone knows." So he knows that everyone knows. It's an area of concern that everyone knows, innit? So I believe that is what they're looking into now. Then after, he said we'll look again and see where we need to fill. So that gives me the inkling that he's not ruling out a striker, and he may add to that forward line and may add to the midfield as well. But he is looking at a great area of concern, which is the defense, and we should just wait and see what happens with that. And hopefully the Kimpembe deal can go through. With Koundé, I don't know. I still feel that ship has sailed. Again, I used the young analogy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of media circus going around players, and when that goes on around, it's almost like, okay, now it's been finally done. Let's see if all this transfer saga hype was all worth it. And I don't want that type of pressure on any player that's coming into Stamford Bridge, and/or I do not want that environment to be clouded by that. Oh, we've been waiting for this guy for so long, and now he's, you know. So it's either it's accepted and we get him on the line ASAP, or we just move on to other targets that are ready to be willing to join. If someone could please tell me otherwise, why hasn't Jules Koundé been finalized till now? Is it money? Is it contract? What is it? And if it's been going on, middle of July? Come on, if the ship has sailed, yeah, go somewhere else. Bring players that are willing to play, willing to sign now.
How about if it is a tactic?
Tactic for what? Who are we doing tactic for?
I don't know, because I don't know. You don't. We'll see what happens. That's when
I know what you're saying, like maybe a game plan, but we don't have. We don't have time, coach.
Yeah,
We don't
I
have
remember
time.
someone was saying that they were like saying
What?
that they're because because last season how they backed out of the deal, we're now trying to push them as far as we can, to delay the signing. But it's like, come on, get this shit done, man. I don't care about no games. Let's get this done.
Get
But
the transfer deal done.
as it's Cammy says, Grimes the guesser is someone I will not trust about the Leao deal. So Grimes the guesser, not the best source, by the way, Cammy.
Yeah, especially after the announcement of that we've signed Ousmane Dembele for 5 years.
Oh,
It's
look at
just
Who said that we
Gilmour
signed?
joining us.
Who said that we signed Dembele for 5?
Oh
Grimes
yeah,
the
Grimes.
guesser.
Who's Grimes the guesser? Is that a tweet guy? Is that a Twitter journalist?
Oh yeah, you could say. I don't. She doesn't proclaim to be a journalist. I don't know.
Okay.
She's just some guesser.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
she
I
said
think
a lot of
I'll
things
share her
wrong.
Twitter handle with you.
Oh,
It's a lot of things wrong.
And she fights with every other, journalist out there and the Twitter journalist. If you
But
want
she
to put it
proclaims
that
not to
way.
be a journalist. Like, come on, pick your side,
Yeah,
man.
but that's, by the way, Matt. Your thoughts on everything we talked about today.
No, I want to know about. Well, Kepa's not leaving. He's staying. By the way, no, he told me
No,
personally.
there's no guarantee. I think Napoli are checking. I think they're still a Champions League.
Wait, hang on. Kepa's staying.
He's staying. He shot me a DM. He was like, "Matt, I'm staying because of you." I said, "All right, thanks, brother." So Kepa's staying. He ain't leaving. Jorginho, Kepa, Koulibaly, Sarri's ball is back. Keep crying, Lampard.
No.
Ball is back.
Not even.
Okay, Matt, just your final thoughts on everything we've talked about.
Yep.
But I still think Kepa will leave.
I'm gonna head out now. Appreciate having me. Yeah, it was a good chat. It was a long one today. Actually, I was here for a while. We had a good debate.
Now I'm surprised you stayed to the end, but I appreciate
that.
No,
I was free today, so I was like, I might as well stay because I don't get the chance to come on all the time. So yeah, appreciate having me on. I will see you in the next one. Big up to everyone in the panel, over in the chat.
I appreciate that.
Big up, Matt.
Again, IBZ, your thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Yeah.
Matt, when you doing the stream on your channel?
I do my 10 a.m. UK time.
Cool.
Yeah. I joined late to the panel this afternoon, obviously because of work and that. But obviously, as you do, always good to be part of the Chelsea perspective.
Yeah.
You get me? Shout out, coach, giving us the platform to rant, to share ideas. But yeah, man, it's never easy, you know what I mean? But it's always good, you know. I'm just happy right now. We got signings over the board.
I need that Conde move to be done as well, blood.
I'm not. Again, I just said it now. I'm not, mate. When it gets too long, too long with these signings and this transfer saga things, I get distasted. I treat it like gal. Like I'm moving to you. I'm saying I want you, and you're giving me hard to get, or I beg, move on. Moving on. You're not the only football player in this planet Earth. There's thousands of old football players. And I'm so sorry if you're taking so long. That's just my biased view on things. Like I don't like people making it to be a long situation. This deal with Koundé is like 2 years in the making. Bruv, come on. Go where you want to go. Go PSG. Go.
Barcelona.
Go. You're not the only. You're not going to be the first and the last player that will come to. Bro, maybe I think, I've got so much interest in me. Let me just, I beg, sit down. And I think if players understand that, a lot of people feed into that, like Dembele. Like, what a corny way to reveal you're staying at Barcelona.
Yeah.
You put a whiteboard, like, just say you were staying in the first place without all of this palaver. Like, it's just done out here to me. I think it's corny a little bit. But
let me ask you a question, IBZ. Let me ask you a question quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think Dembele had phone calls with Tuchel?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. This is the show. But what I'm saying is I don't like, this whole long, like, players, he didn't need to make it a long thing. Just say what you were on. If you were staying at Barcelona for the whole time, bruv, you should have just signed the deal from the time the contract was over. But you put everyone in frenzy. You put Twitter journalists to be tweeting out nonsense. You get people saying that we signed Dembele, all of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
Oh,
thank
word.
God that we've got players over the line that we can now look at more targets like Presnel Kimpembe,
Yeah.
get that over the line, and then we'll take it from there. I think once we get him over the line, our defense is sorted. Maybe one more, but our defense is sorted. Obviously, that wing back position, coach, you were mentioning Klaus. Is it Klaus? Am I mentioning correctly?
Yeah, Jonathan Klaus.
Yeah. So if he's over the line as well,
Are you sure about that though? I think we're going for Conde because Conde could play on that right side.
No, we're not gonna get
wow.
Kunde to play that
Are you
position.
sure? Are you
no.
sure about that?
I don't know.
Are you sure
I
about
don't know.
that? Are you
So
sure? Are you sure
IBC,
about
go
that,
ahead
coach?
because we've come to. Yeah, actually, we're waiting. I'm waiting for you to end up.
Oh no,
so I'll bring in Deals.
big up,
He speaks if he has any update for us. Then
Big
we
up,
close the
Majid.
show. Deals,
big up,
stay.
big up.
I'll have you
No,
speak your
Majid.
mind before we close. Let IBC finish his final thought.
Just nothing. Just hopefully we get all our targets, and we're ready for August. So that's all my final thoughts.
Ready.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Deals,
Big up,
anything you want to
IBZ.
add
Big
to
up.
everything you've heard us talk about, or you have any new updates for us? You go ahead, so we can call it a day.
Obviously, I'm just excited to see what defenders come in. Obviously with Koulibaly, and obviously I'm like IBZ. I'm like IBZ because I'm on the same level as IBZ. What IBZ is saying, because I believe that we got to wait till we got our targets until we see the player in the shirt. Then we can be excited. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking your time to say that. I want to say thank you to everyone on the panel. Thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for always finding time to join, to help educate the fans, to help to join. So we'll put two and two together and come to a sensible conclusion.
Coach,
so we're not misled. Yes.
Are you doing a show later on tonight?
Yeah.
I'll be on later.
Yeah.
I'll be on later. Just send me the link.
All right. Thank you very much. So thank you to everyone. I want to say thank you to True Blue for always being in the chat, providing great contributions that help us learn. And thank you to again True Blue. Thank you to Ike IC for joining. Thank you for Nathaniel Obosie for joining. Thank you to Football Channel. Thank you for joining. Again, I appreciate you all, PJ, Artist, Ike. I see everyone else in the chat. Michael, who joined later today, and we didn't see the Queen of the House, just Viola, today, and I hope she's fine. I hope she's doing well. I'll check up on that. Thanks to Cronus Dan, Liam Lane, and everyone else that found time to join us today. I can't thank you guys enough. It's been a brilliant show, and with that, I say thank you. See you guys later in the day for another transfer show. I hope you find time to join us. Or if not, if we don't have an evening show today, I think we will, because Louisa should be able to host it on her own. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. Thank you. God bless us all.
God bless.
Thank you.